There was a video that came out very recently from a YouTuber, ShaMoo, and let me just say, what a crazy thumbnail. This is an insane thumbnail, by the way. Tectone, Twitch's most abusive liar, and then the thumbnail says runs in the family, and it's photoshopped so that P and E are censored in and they also censor his dad's eyes. This is a crazy thumbnail, just to be very clear. But let's watch. And as you can see, I started watching, and I'll show you guys where I stopped watching because I was like, I can't go anymore. I can't.
Hey guys, please hit like on the video as it helps the channel.
Content warning, there's one pretty terrible joke about China. It's not funny at all. It's bad. We're going to glaze past it. We're just going to move right past it. We're not going to comment. We're going to move on, okay?
Channel in the algorithm. If you want to support more content like this, you can do so at patreon.com/ShaMoo411. If you have Cash App, you can donate at $ShaMoo411. Also, channel memberships and super chats are enabled. Tectone, a streamer with close to 1 million subscribers on both YouTube and Twitch, has spent the past year embroiled in a assault scandal with his ex-girlfriend, and while facing these serious allegations, it was discovered that his father, who he had brought on streams and podcasts, was one of the most infamous in U.S. military history. The absurdity of the situation piqued my interest, and after putting together a timeline of events and testimony, what I found was a man willing to lie, deceive, and manipulate those around him. Sourcing court documents I found, I believe this video will offer an exclusive look into what has really been going on with Tectone, and it is not good. Is he guilty? Well, by the end of the video, you will at least have some clarity as to how we got here. But you know what they say, like father, like son.
I don't know what happens, bro. Just bad follows me like the plague. You take my trash out?
Yes.
And why are you doing that?
Because Tectone is the breadwinner. He makes the money.
No, it's because you're a
Responsible human being.
That's like saying you're gonna make but not have the money shot. It ain't if there ain't a money shot. She looks real submissive and looks like, in the words of Halsey, I can take a pounding.
She was going to do something much worse, so bad it would have ruined all of our lives. I'm not going to say what it was that she was doing, but it was so horrific, it would have ruined all of our lives.
Oh, girls don't like crazy guys.
It's like abusive guys.
Well,
it will never not be the hottest thing ever when a thick female has a in their mouth. Am I gonna get canceled over this? No. You want to know why? Because I don't have secrets.
Tectone as a streamer is best known for playing and promoting gacha games like Genshin Impact, which from what I can tell is essentially like gambling for children, as these sorts of companies generate revenue from users gambling on pulls to get an endless supply of sought-after characters and items.
We get a new 5-star. We gonna get it 100%. You wanna know why? Because I'm supposed to. Because I'm supposed to. And you wanna know how I know? Because chat, right now, if you follow my stream and you're new here, you get 3 free pulls in Honkai Star Rail. That's the crazy thing. Here we go. We have 8 more to go, baby. 2. Ah, here we go! Here we go! Here we go! Please! Please, Karl! Karl, bring you out! Karl, bring you out! Karl, bring you out! Please! Please! Let's go! Oh my God! Oh, we've did it!
Is this what Tectone's stream is? These are all 5 to 8 second clips. Where's the full context? Dude, have you never watched a single YouTube video in your life? Are you not aware of like how this is like a guy watching a movie trailer being like, this isn't enough context. I don't even know what's going to happen in the movie. The context is the rest of the video. Those are the highlights. If you keep watching, you'll find out the context for those videos.
My #1 most wanted unit. Kidding you? I almost passed out on the ground. I'm not kidding you. I almost passed out on the ground. My blood pressure was so high. I swear on my life. I pinky promise. I was about to pass out. This feeling, free to play Bronya.
Even Tectone, the one promoting these games.
What a crazy. All right, wait, can I chat? Can you tell me if I'm being toxic? As I'm sure many of you have seen, welcome to the Kick family at Tectone. Is this too toxic? Is it too toxic to quote tweet this and say, Kick recruiting a sex pest during Pride Month is so brave? Do I send it? We full send it. We full send it. All right, you guys already know. Pump.
We need Tectone Gacha level of passion from progressives from now on DNMM.
Yeah, we pull up an infrastructure bill. Oh my God, yes, we need the infrastructure. Yeah, just for everything all the time.
Doesn't seem to be immune from spending large sums of money on exploitative Chinese crap. Yes, my two favorite Chinese imports, Genshin Impact and fentanyl. We love China.
Higher.
We're just gonna look past this cringe China joke. We're just gonna move past it. That was a little. Listen, the guy doesn't do political content, okay? American YouTuber, it's fine. We all have our places where we can grow and get better, okay? We're gonna move on from that. We're gonna move on from that. All right. This is probably the worst, one of the worst things I've ever seen in my life.
350?
Higher.
We love China.
Higher.
350?
Higher.
400.
Higher.
How much have you spent on Genshin Impact? 350, 400.
500?
A little bit higher.
Wait,
550.
on just Genshin?
Yeah, I spent $500,000 on Genshin Impact.
Guys, these people, they don't know how to spend their money well. They don't. They don't. They don't.
Tectone joined OTK, or the One True King streaming organization, on November 21st, 2021, with streamers such as Osmongold, Mizkif, and later Emiru. Interestingly, OTK has had several different scandals in the same realm as Tectone's. One of the co-owners was accused of SA, and the other co-owner, Mizkif, was accused of covering up an assault.
Rich Campbell was accused of not SA.
Tectone is also one of the biggest Osmongold worshippers
So
online.
I don't know why
He basically
this
thinks the
YouTuber keeps calling him Osmongold.
guy walks on water anytime he comes up.
The reason why I started being a streamer was because of Asmon. Asmon has been and always will be my favorite streamer. The dude's funny. The guy's charismatic.
Dude, this outfit gives the gigolo that doesn't get picked. Like the scraps at the bottom of the barrel. Yeah, we have some gigolos. Yeah, okay, let me see them. That's all you have left? Sorry, all the other ones are taken for the day. I'll come back tomorrow.
And he made me feel better about my life.
Tectone would eventually host the Steak and Eggs podcast with Osmongold and Emiru. Before we can get to the absurdities of epigenetic, we need to go back to August of 2022 when Tectone's then wife, Freem, left him.
You've been losing weight. Do I look different than when I first started Camp Canoe?
Yeah.
Because I'm bald?
Because your face.
Abusive relationship.
That's why I'm leaving.
Okay, I don't like this joke anymore. I don't like this joke. Frig, I'll give you a hug.
From the body language of Freem, it really looks like she does not want him hugging her.
Thank you for helping me today. I appreciate that. Have a hug back. The pound in the back feels very father-son-ish. Thank you.
Earlier, Tectone would explain to his stream that he had been hurting his wife for a very long time, with pretty poor explanations, all while Freem was packing her.
Denims, I'm ashamed to admit I spent $1K on a gacha game called L Sword when I was 19. Also made me aware of how much gambling addiction can fuck you up even in gacha games. I don't gamble or play gacha games because of that. This is why I don't play MMOs, chat. Because I clock in way too much fucking time. And when I got really addicted, during one of the treasure troves, I spent $250. Not $250,000, $250. Okay? And I was like, this isn't good for me. I was like, this is not good for me. I'm already fucking clocking in a full-time job every day. I'm wrangling all these people for this fucking raid practice every week. I'm doing all my dailies, all my weeklies, organizing stuff for the guild, and I'm spending real money. I clearly cannot be trusted with MMOs. I shouldn't play MMOs. I really shouldn't play MMOs. They're not good for me.
Things to leave him.
I want to get this announcement out of the way beforehand. I've heard that I have been hurting someone. I've been hurting someone that I care a lot about. Sometimes, Chad, caring too much is not good. It's really not.
You ever care so much that you start hurting people around you?
Sometimes you can mean well, but still cause, I guess, overbearingness to the people who you care about. Because we've been together since we were so young, we formed a very bad codependency for one another. Sometimes when Frame isn't in the house, I can't function as a human being at all. I just can't do it, because it got to a point where I didn't really know the difference of who I was and who Frame was. And when Frame wasn't around me, I didn't feel like a complete human being.
I love we formed a codependency, and it's just him talking about how he relied on her for everything.
And during that process, I hurt my wife because she was overworked. And y'all know that. It's even a meme. It's even a meme. Me yelling Frame. Frame! Sprinting over here. And so I've been hurting Frame for a very long time. I stopped seeing her as a different person. I saw her as myself. And I asked her to do too much. I asked her to help me too much. And Frame was also hurting me in a way where she wouldn't communicate with me because she was afraid due to her past relationships.
She didn't communicate with me because she was afraid because of her past relationships. And then you put it in context with the other clips we've seen, and it's like, was it the past relationships? Was it? Was it? Dude, put this in like stark contrast with like Moon's personal life being publicly litigated. And man, what a difference. Man, what a difference. Where I don't know how many of you guys were there for I'm pooping. I don't know how many of you guys were there for that arc season. But like the way that Moon talked about it was like that was someone that had a very mature perspective on the matter, right? Where he talked about how, first of all, none of it was even supposed to be public. It was because other people made certain things public and whatever. But he talks about his experience in his relationship and why he claims the divorce happened and everything. And the way he talks about it is like, yeah, I mean, I prioritized, streaming. I prioritized doing stuff that I wanted to do, and I like didn't prioritize my wife enough. And it got to a point where she couldn't deal with it anymore, and she shouldn't have to deal with it anymore. And I should have been there. I should have been more responsive. I should have been more available. And she didn't. She did her best. Like and then he like starts actually not the fake crying that Tectone does. Starts tearing up a little bit and is like struggling clearly to like complete his sentences and talk about the issue, and says, yeah, so, nothing but like love and respect for her. Obviously, she was great in every way that she could be, but I didn't make enough of an effort. And it's like, damn, that's fucking real. This where it's like, I just cared too much. And that's why I was hurting her, because we were so codependent. Here are all the ways that I demanded her attention without giving anything in return, ever. Also, she didn't want to communicate with me because it was her fault, and definitely nothing that I did. Me at my job interview. Oh, my biggest flaw? I just work too hard. I just work just too hard.
But what I realized is a little bit too late, is that Frame is not me. And just because I'm okay with creating content 24/7 does not mean that my wife would be okay with that. I thought you were getting divorced? Same.
They would divorce only 4 months later. Frame filed for it, and Tectone would start a relationship with Twitch streamer and OnlyFans model Pinkchyu.
But yeah, Ping is one of the best people I've ever met. She's never done anything wrong. An amazing human being.
People would continue to question if Tectone was abusive and what was really going on when clips started to resurface online.
How do I deal with them? I love him.
Don't touch me.
I'm patient.
No, you're not. You're like the most impatient, moody I've ever met.
I'm patient when it comes to you.
Freem, I carry our marriage, and you know that. Freem, you know that.
I think we have a pretty 50-50 marriage.
You're high.
Tectone gives the game away in this clip for being a wholly unlikable tool and an asshole. What's more shocking, though, is that he has the lack of self-awareness to do this with his then wife on a live stream.
You're high. I'm not saying you don't help, but you think it's 50-50? Explain.
I mean, okay,
I would unironically say I'm probably one of the best husbands on planet Earth.
you're a very good husband.
No. I wouldn't say very good. I would say one of the best.
I'm just saying, like, you carry in social aspects, I carry in the back end tech stuff. And I feel like together we make a good team.
But marriage, dude, I am the conflict resolution god.
Yeah, you are.
100%.
No, 100% you are.
I am the greatest shoulder to cry on. I am the greatest consoler. I'm understanding everything. The romantic shit I do is crazy. Like, why are you giggling? Freeman, you know beyond a shadow of a doubt, I'm an incredible husband.
I never said that you weren't.
But you never said that I was.
Okay, you are an incredible husband.
How accommodating I've been is insane.
I'm the goodest boy.
He's really channeling that
Talk about how I'm the goodest boy.
inner narcissistic sassy gay man to tell his then wife that she isn't worth anything and he's the best guy ever.
How accommodating I've been is insane. Why are you not saying anything?
I'm saying, yes, I agree. Of course.
So for like marriages and emotions and understanding and communication.
Sorry, but like these two segments, like they should have been juxtaposed right next to each other. The part where he says, well, Freem also has a problem with communicating with me because of her previous relationships. And then this part where he's like, why aren't you saying anything? And she's like, I'm saying, you're great. Yeah.
I would say I do about 90% of that.
Yes.
Okay, there we go. The majority of marriage is communication.
Yes. I give you your space, you give me my space. We mutually love each other. We mutually are happy with each other. We're still each other's best friends, I hope, right?
That's a lot of assuming happening.
Okay.
That's a lot of assuming. That's a lot of assuming. What was being assumed there? Let's break it down. Let's just break it down for just 2 seconds. I got it. I gotta know. We gotta break it down for 2 seconds. I give you your space, you give me my space. We mutually love each other and are happy with each other and are each other's best friends. That's a lot of assuming.
Bullshit.
It's a lot of assuming.
When this car clip
Yeah, she definitely didn't communicate with you because of her previous relationships and not because, like, I don't know, when she tries to communicate, you only will accept, I agree with everything you say. You're the best. I will shut up now.
resurfaced online, Tectone went to sweep it up directly. But specifically what I find interesting is he says,
Which, by the way, this is the funniest. Full context of clip. Our marriage was good for 8 years. Why is marriage capitalized? But bad for the last 2. It was getting to the point where we both resented each other. Content creating took a toll on both of our mentals and changed who we were a lot. We pretty much had to divorce to save our our friendship, which worked out and was definitely for the best. I don't want to get into it too much. If you've ever seen our twit longers, you've already heard it, but man, moving forward from this marriage is hard when it's on the internet. I regret a lot of things, and seeing this makes me feel like shit, which I deserve. No excuses. Minus 2.9K.
says, quote, we pretty much had to get a divorce to save our friendship, which worked and was definitely for the better. You may not realize it yet, but this is just an outright manipulative lie by Tectone, something I...
Sorry, I noticed this chatter. You're a delusional loser, and I can't wait to watch you fall. I like to think so. I don't know what he's responding to. Employed, married, happy with great family and friends. Just happy to see propaganda and hate being seen by the general population as it is. And no, not a fan of Tectone. Don't worry, no one's a fan of Tectone. I'm not. I just am against Denims and saw her online while taking my lunch. I'm eating and watching. Hearing from all of you is great entertainment. Why you gotta tell me what to do with my time? Employed and making a great living, not a fitting attack. Let me entertain the concept for a moment. What have I done that you are so fervently against? That has made you so fervently against me? Please, I would love to know. I would absolutely love to know.
I will explain in more depth shortly. Tectone would further present this narrative that everything was all good on stream.
Also, you gotta understand, like, Frame doesn't like when people paint me as a villain, right? Because it kind of just like decredits our entire marriage, right? Like a couple of bad moments doesn't ruin 10 years, you know what I mean? I just really want Frame to be able to get out of the public eye. That's all.
And it's this tweet from her that says, Tectone and I are good, y'all. It's been hard to watch him get all this hate. He's been taking on the full blame for our marriage not working out publicly. That's not okay. It takes two people to get into one. It takes two people to get out of a marriage. We both had our faults. We accepted them, but in the end, we didn't work out. That's okay. It happens. We stayed as friends. And as friends, this sucks to see. Things are being brought up from months/years ago. And I know it's easier to paint him as the villain, but because he's our Tectone and he's loud and might have an ego. But at the end of the day, he was 10 years of my life. I don't regret it. He's still one of the closest people in my life. I wasn't perfect in our marriage either. I never said I was. I have communication issues and personal trauma that I actively have to get therapy in order to feel better about myself, or in order to better myself. And I think this will come back later. So please, this is me asking, cut the poor guy some slack. Wait, chatter, are you typing out the message I asked you to type out? Please tell me what you're against that I've done. I really would love to know. You're so fervently against me. I would love to know what I've done that has made you so such an anti-fan. I want to know what it is. Please let me know.
All I want. And please, God, nobody clip this, please. It's just very hard for me to talk about Frame because she was my wife for a very
clip this. Noted.
Long time, and I don't like remembering how ugly the end of our marriage got. My life's going in a great direction, and that's the only reason why it hurts. That's the only reason why it's scary. Am I gonna get canceled over this? No. You wanna know why? Because I don't have secrets. The last 2 years were really rough. It was really rough. Now the shit that I would do with Frame, the icky shit I would do with Frame, that wasn't good, right? I'm probably gonna delete this VOD after this stream. But holy dude, my friends can't even react to me without it being a hate threat. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Dude, he's such a Neanderthal. I gotta go back. It's just so amazing.
Secrets. The last 2 years were really rough. It was really rough. Now the shit that I would do with Frame, the icky shit I would do with Frame, that wasn't good, right? I'm probably gonna delete this VOD after this stream. But holy dude, my friends can't even react to me without it being a hate threat. It's crazy. It's crazy. Sorry.
After a back and forth.
I need like an Onion article. Heartwarming. Neanderthal escaped from museum to show everyone emotional intelligence. I personally do not agree with your views politically and think you exacerbate hate. I am not sided on either end, but hate seeing attacks and hatred going on in the world currently. So if someone said, fuck Nazis, Nazis should be in prison for life, Nazis should get the death penalty, like, would you say that that's exacerbating hate? Is that all that you say? Well, if you could engage with the hypothetical, we can go somewhere with it. But first you have to engage. And no, I don't think so. To fight extremism on any front. Okay, so we agree then that you're allowed to be hateful towards extremist people that want to make the world objectively worse. Yes? Tarkov player spotted this dude's a deeply unhappy individual. It depends if he's still playing Tarkov. Because I will tell you, if you're still playing Tarkov in 2025, as someone who many moons ago got the Kappa, I can never play that game again. I can never do it again. That was such a brutal fucking journey, dude. Yes, but I think you are extreme and making the world worse. Okay, well, how? Can you list an example of a way that you feel like I have been extreme? Do I need to share a video compilation to you? I mean, I would say that if I went into someone's chat to talk about how I'm against that streamer, and I'm actively hate watching, I personally would have examples on hand that I can just type. I don't think you I don't think you need to send a video. I mean, you can send the video compilation if you want, but you can also just like use your words. If you come in swinging and you have these strong opinions and you think like I am making the world worse, I don't think it's that absurd that you would be able to type out the sentences of the things that I've done that you think have made the world worse, right? You're more than welcome to send the compilation. But again, I think that sending the compilation is more of like more work than just typing out what you feel. But you can just do, I don't care. Sure, go for it. I'm also having to respond to your entire chat attacking me. Can you ignore the chat? Just ignore them. It's fine. You already said you're employed, you make a great living, you're happy. A couple losers that you would claim are losers, right? Because they're watching a streamer that exacerbates hate. I don't see why their opinions would get to you, right? You can just ignore them. Huh? Not claiming anyone is a loser or attacking? You just said the entire chat is attacking. It's the next message up. Can we get back on the topic? Can we get back on the topic? Can you either type out the sentences of the things that I've done that made the world worse or share the video compilation? I don't really care which one you do. I just want you to do one of them. A perfect example. You play dialogue and situations to fit your own narrative. For example, with H3, you read fact but deny it when it doesn't align with what you want to prove. Well, now I need to see this video compilation. I mean, I fundamentally disagree that this is an example of extremism. I think what matters is what the context of this, literally, what is the content that is being talked about, right? That's what makes it extreme. So like if I was pulling up the calorie count for, I don't know, a cinnamon bun, and I was like, see, this website says cinnamon buns are only 50 calories, so it's okay that I had 7. I would be reading facts and denying it, but I wouldn't be engaging in extremist behavior. I would be engaging in fat bitch behavior, which I love to engage in. Now, someone reading something about like the Holocaust and then denying what they just read, that would be engaging in extremist behavior. It's the subject matter that's important there. That's not inherently, it's not that doing this is inherently extremist. It's that what you're talking about matters. So I would need you to, like, you understand how, like, to be clear, that's in relation to the Giardia and CPS situation and the CPS memory statement. I'm saying that it's my issue with you. I'm not saying this is an example of extremism. I would love to know what the example of extremism is, because you did say that, like, here, I think you are extreme. Sabra Thomas tier list, I guess, or reaction to veterans. C-chat, we need call-ins. We need call-ins, because this is like the perfect person to have call-in. Like this is the perfect person to have call-in. This is a perfect person to have guest star. Don't tie me up on the word extreme. I mean, I'm not tying up. You've used it. I'm curious what made you feel that way. I'm not tying you up to that word. You're the one who used that word. I don't understand. You don't have to, you shouldn't have used the word earlier if you didn't mean it. I don't. You need me to be clearer. I mean, you're kind of just like waving at certain topics, but you're not explaining what I did. My reaction to veterans, I think you're thinking of Frogan. I think you're mixing up what Frogan said. The only thing I've said about veterans is I judge people based on their character. You being a veteran doesn't automatically make me respect you, but it doesn't automatically make me hate you. I just feel very neutrally about it. In the way that, like, if someone told me that, like, I don't know, they were a construction worker, I wouldn't feel positively or negatively about that. I would still judge you based on who you are as a person. That's my statement, which I feel like is one of the most lukewarm opinions you can have about a veteran. Like, does it even get more lukewarm than that? I don't really think that that's... Like, I'm going to be honest, chat. I feel like the soy right has gotten really bad. I feel like when I go into a chat that I disagree with, obviously the chat's going to be against me. No shit. I would never type in Asmongold's chat and be like, your chat's being really mean to me. You harbor extreme chatters and it's disgusting. Like, obviously, like, of course they don't like me. So I don't know what the soy right is about on this one, on this topic where they feel the need to like pearl clutch that they're going somewhere to shit on someone that they don't like, and then they expect the chat to be nice to them. It really fundamentally like does not make any sense in my brain, right? Have I been rude or disingenuous? Disingenuous, no, but rude, yeah. I mean, you can ignore your first message if you want, but we have it on the screen. Your very first message was, "You're a delusional loser, and I can't wait to watch you fall." LOL. I'm not expecting people to be nice, but I expect not to be called raceless and baseless claims about me personally. You're not even going to own up to being rude. You're not even going to own up to it. You're not going to be like, wait, I forgot I said that. Actually, right. Anyways, chatter, let me know if you want to get in a call, okay? We can do our first viewer call-in. I think it'd be fun. I think it would be a fun first time ever viewer call-in. If you're interested, I don't expect you to be, but if you're interested, let's continue.
Forth on Twitter about Freem being free from Tectone occurred, Freem would clarify the situation with, quote, "Since some think this is playful banter, it's not. We are not on good terms, by the way, but this is between me, him, and our lawyers. Sorry for not wanting to talk about my personal life online. Some things just shouldn't be used for content." Discord DMs were sent to Tectone and Pink of Freem posting screenshots of a bra being purchased on Amazon from Tectone's account well prior to his divorce, and then Pinkchyu wearing it at a later date. Freem also still had access to the security cameras and posted pictures of Pinkchyu coming in and out of Tectone's house. This was on a date where Freem was supposed to be with Tectone for Christmas. Because of these new posts, Tectone and his new girlfriend would strike back at Freem viciously. Before we get into the nuclear response Pink and Tectone made, I want to jump ahead and let everyone know that Pink has since stated that she was used as a pawn by Tectone to attack his ex-wife, Freem, that he convinced her and told her to do everything that's about to happen. Regardless of the merit of these claims, you cannot convince me that Tectone was not aware of what his current girlfriend was about to levy at his ex-wife. Keep this in mind for what's about to come next. Tectone's current girlfriend, Pink, would post the Discord DMs of Freem and respond with, quote, "This woman is a criminal and has caused me so much anxiety and distress the last year, I needed to take a break. She spied on me with cameras, even private moments, and shared it with my colleagues and friends illegally. Without knowing her, she spread rumors about me, tried to ruin my career and friendships. I didn't go to the police in fear of what she would do because she is completely obsessed with me and is unhinged." Freem would respond to Pink with, quote, "Have your lawyers reach out to mine." Tex had their info for months. Pink would then start a live stream attacking Freem and announcing she had gone to the police to press charges on Freem for revenge. What you're about to see was all planned, and Tectone would actually raid Pink's stream prior to her starting.
Tectone's ex-wife has been stalking and harassing me and Tectone for over a year.
And the person who made this video explains this as well, but before we get in there, this is what manipulators do. They convince people to defend them like this. And he's going to show like a tweet from Pink later where she talks about how she feels like she's been manipulated. And she was sold a version of events that did in fact not happen, but we'll get there.
Here now. She has not left us alone. She has stalked bank statements, internet history, was spying on me when I came to visit Techie because I guess she originally was spying on Techie, and spread revenge of footage that is considered revenge to people from the cameras as well. I have gone to the police. Here is a police report. I try to clear up as much as I can. I have a police report. The cops are doing their thing. I'm not going to get into the specifics about the revenge. And yes, her spreading revenge is sexual harassment if she doesn't want to believe it. I thought she was going to make the video that she took of me public. So I called her out. That was the first thing because I was scared she was going to start a public narrative against me. She has ruined Tectone's image.
Are you starting to notice some things? Pink later said that there was no revenge. So who was telling her that there was? She also tries to run narrative for Tectone. She even brings up the divorce court papers, which I would presume came from him.
The reason why on Christmas Tectone canceled plans with Freem is because I was a new friend to Tectone. Tectone had talked to me about the mental abuse he went through with her. He confided in me all the abuse he was dealing with, the cheating, and how hurt he was. And I told him, I don't feel comfortable meeting her. I don't want to know this person. I feel very uncomfortable. I think you should maybe take a step back and maybe get some help and think about, what has happened, because I felt bad. Like, he still had empathy for her, even after getting cheated on, even after a lot of stuff she did to him.
Remember that the ex-wife Freem has said virtually nothing in this publicly, and the things being shown are DMs that somebody else leaked to Pink and Tectone. All of a sudden now Freem is an abuser and a revenge.
Let me also just remind people I've never met Frame. I've never met her once in my life. I hope I never have to, okay? And that's why it's scary, because it's like this scary unknown and I have to just deal with it. And I'm not going to deal with it. I'm not going to like sit around and just let somebody try to destroy my life. She was going to do something much worse, so bad it would have ruined all of our lives. I'm not going to say what it was that she was doing, but it was so horrific. It would have ruined all of our lives.
And the reason why Tectone went nuclear? Because his ex-wife Freem was about to make her alleged and abuse she went through from her husband Tectone public. Tectone has denied this for years, that this was even happening, by the way. But what people aren't aware of is that legal documentation between Pink and Freem clearly states, quote, "The dispute between Freem and Tectone relates to a serious and false allegation against Tectone. During that call, Tectone and Pinkchyu learned that Freem had a Google Doc and she was planning to release it to the public." We'll get into further detail later, but it's important to realize that the attacks Pink made prior is a direct response to Tectone finding out through Pink that Freem was going to go public with the alleged abuse she went through with Tectone. I reached out to Tectone to get his side of the story in any context I could. At first he said he was happy to answer any questions until he realized how meticulously I had gone through everything. I asked him what the allegations were that Pink mentioned were going to ruin all of their lives, not letting him know I already had the court documents proving what they were. And he lied to me. He said, quote,
I wanted to read what the actual document stated, which this is crazy, by the way.
Context I could. At first he said he was happy to answer any questions until he realized how meticulously I had gone through everything. I asked him what the allegations were that
He says, on March 7th, 2024, Pink does a stream attacking someone after both of you become aware of allegations that were going to be made against you. What were these allegations?
Pink mentioned were going to ruin all of their lives, not letting him know I already had the...
And here's the, I think, court documents that show on February 4th, 2024, Pinkchyu reached out to Kyuko because Kyuko had promised to issue a public apology to Pinkchyu. However, Kyuko explains that her understanding of the dispute between Freem and Tectone relates to a serious and false allegation against Tectone.
The court documents proving what they were.
During that call, Tectone and Pinkchyu learned that Freem had a Google Doc that she was planning to release to the public.
And he lied to me. He said, quote...
And he says, no allegations were going to be made against me. This was between her and another woman. I never encouraged Pink to do anything. To be honest, I attempted to get her to move on. So the TLDR here, he encourages Pink to get on her stream. He raids her. She gets on her stream, shit talks, well, not really shit talks. Well, yeah, shit talks his Tectone's ex-wife. And, you know, Pink says, oh, she's threatening us. His ex-wife is threatening us. She's threatening to leak stuff, etc. And when Tectone is asked about it in 2025, very recently, he says, oh, no, nothing was going to be made public. That was just between her and somebody else. That had nothing to do with me, and I didn't tell her to do it.
Quote, no allegations were going to be made against me. This was between her and another woman. Provably a lie.
It was so horrific, it would have ruined all of our lives.
Freem would respond to all this with, I'm well aware of the many lies that continue to be said about me, my relationships, and my alleged actions. As social media isn't the appropriate forum to address legal matters.
I want to respond to this chatter. Denims, do you find it kind of gross watching this? I don't think we should be watching this. I'm a part of the right here. I've just come here to understand. I don't even watch him. I just heard of him. I just find it weird to be watching somebody's relationship fall out. I don't want to shake the notion, just finding it weird. This is entertainment. I mean, it's entertainment the way that like watching the news is entertainment. Like, I don't think anybody here, when they read about Gaza or they find out that like 14,000 children are going to be starved in Gaza, I don't think people find that entertainment, right? It's coverage of someone who people are trying to pretend is not a sex pest. And it's trying to show, here's the actual timeline of events that Tectone repeatedly tries to cover up and pretend like didn't happen. It's not like relationship fallout. It's not relationship drama. It's people's real lives and their real careers and real abuse. I mean, if you want any further proof of this, look no further than the fact that I have not commented once on the divorce situation between NMP and Milena. Except to say, I'm not commenting on this. I've seen it so much on LSF. Like on LSF, I've seen so many clips of like NMP, financial abuse, NMP cheating, NMP. And I'm like, that is not my business. That's not my forte. That feels really weird to get involved with. I don't want to sensationalize this. I hope the divorce goes well. I hope both parties feel like the divorce is the right option. I hope that, whatever financial issues need to be resolved are resolved. I'm not engaging in this. I'm good on this. This feels bizarre. I feel, and there's like one guy who sensationalizes the NMP story. I'm not interested. That's just not for me, personally. But this is a story about a person in a position of power using that power to abuse women or to abuse people around him. That's a very different story. Everybody knows in here that like I've talked about it so many times that like I don't like commenting on people's relationships. I don't like commenting on like people in their relationships with cheating, people with divorces, people with any of that shit where like there is not abuse happening. I care about covering stories where there is abuse happening and this person because they have a large audience or a platform, they get to continue this pattern of abuse because people don't know that they are who they are. With the NMP situation, it's like, I don't know enough about either of these people, and there hasn't been a victim that's actually come forward and said anything. Now, if Milena came out with a statement and said, here is a conclusive statement, divorce proceedings are over, and I want everybody to know the truth, I would cover it at that point. Because I'm interested in hearing from the victims of the situation and having their testimony rather than like pouring over these fucking court documents to try and sensationalize them. That feels weird for me. That feels bizarre to me. I don't like that. Because at that point, I'm like, I am using someone like in an instance where I would cover that story, where I would cover the situation between NMP and Milena. At that point, I'm putting words in Milena's mouth to try and push some narrative that she hasn't even herself said, which feels fucking crazy. What's happening with Milena and NMP? They're getting divorced, and there's court documents, some of which I think are public, and there are people that are sensationalizing them. And that feels... That's speculation. That is absolutely speculation. And especially when you know that like legal documents are always going to be the harshest that they can be because your lawyer is always going to try and vouch for you the hardest that they can. So like if a legal document says there's financial abuse, does anyone in here know what the legal definition, the lowest form of financial abuse in order to be able to call something financial abuse? I would have to look it up to find out, but I wouldn't even be surprised if financial abuse there would just mean financial mishandling, right? Where she wasn't getting her side of the paycheck in time, or she was doing way more work than she was getting compensated for. Whereas colloquially, when we hear financial abuse, we think of like Steven Crowder, right? So I can't look at like a legal document and then start making assertions on what the victim might feel or think when I don't know enough about that situation because she hasn't spoken up about it. Financial abuse, buying Whataburger every day. True. Fucking true. And again, if Milena comes out with a statement at that point, yeah, it would be, I would cover something like that because at that point that would be something that I'm not putting words in her mouth. In this situation where Freema's said multiple things and Tectone's ex-girlfriend Pink has said things and alleged that Tectone engaged in sexually predatory behavior and sexual abuse, I'm not putting words in her mouth. I'm reading her statements and I'm judging the statements on their merit, right? Like those are fundamentally different things.
I'll just say that neither I nor my attorney has heard from anyone about actually resolving this matter. I won't be commenting on this further. Pink would even run cover for how Tectone treated his wife in the car clip from earlier, explaining, oh, you don't understand. Tectone realized that day that his wife of 10 years had been cheating on him.
Keep this in mind. This is the day he caught her and Cruz huddling on the couch and realized she was cheating on him with Cruz, his assistant.
Which is pretty crazy, considering only 5 months later, Pink would announce that Tectone had been cheating on her.
Third question time.
And this is the clip that made me realize I cannot pre-watch the rest of this video because you guys need authentic reactions. The title of this Dexerto article, I think, says, Pinkchyu goes viral for talking about getting cheated on months after being involved in Tectone cheating controversy.
Weird question time. Has anyone ever been cheated on? How do you react to something like that, by the way? Like, is it weird? Like, I know some people are like, oh, you'll crash out or something when you learn about that, like you got cheated on. But is it weird that for me, like, I just like, oh my God, I don't have to deal with this piece of shit anymore.
Dude, what the fuck? What the fuck? That clip, I watched that clip and I was like, okay, I'm done pre-watching. I can't. I was cackling. I was losing my mind watching this clip. Every bone in my body was my funny bone, every bone.
Tectone, as you will see throughout, would lie to his audience in a pre-planned narrative spinning in an attempt to dissuade accusations of cheating against him.
When did you and Pink break up? Me and Pink broke up like mid-June. Do you all need proof of that or no? Are we gonna take my word for that? Do we need proof? I'm gonna do it anyways. I feel like it's important. Just because I don't want anybody to doubt what I'm saying, and I know it's a pretty serious topic people really like talking about. Yeah, once again, I want to be very clear. No ill will towards it whatsoever as of right now. I don't really care. I mean, it was made public against my will, but I don't care. But yeah, I have a message that I sent to Jimmy on June 28th where Pink and I broke up. But yeah, it was good. Nothing bad.
Tectone for real just pulled up DMs of his modding him and just had this pre-planned so that people wouldn't think he was cheating. Pink would respond.
No, bro, look at these super legit messages from literally today.
On posting receipts of the real breakup that was in July. Please stop talking about me on stream. Stop lying. I broke up with you because I suspect
yeah, this Tectone freeze frame. I did him kind of dirty on that.
you cheating on me. Stop taking pot shots at me on stream. You know, the next day we got back together, I broke up with you on July 23rd. Didn't want to be your friend.
Sorry, I wasn't listening to when when the YouTuber was talking. She says, please stop talking about me on stream. Stop lying. I broke up with you because I suspected you cheating on me. Stop taking pot shots at me on stream. You know, the next day we got back together. I broke up with you on July 23rd. I didn't want to be your friends with benefits on July 26th, and you wouldn't even let me ride in the car with you. And Sophia and I was outside the house, drunk and alone. I'm not stupid. I suspected cheating. Just stop. It wasn't good. It was a lot of bad.
I'm not stupid, and I suspect cheating. Just stop. It wasn't good. It was a lot of bad. Pink attached text messages to the tweet of her breaking up with Tectone, where she specifically says twice that she was scared of him.
And then...
Oh, that's good. This is good. I wasn't mad earlier. I was scared, and I realized I shouldn't be scared of the person I'm supposed to love. His response. Sorry, I'll read all of it. She says, and again, if you can delete any sexual thing you have of me, I would appreciate it. I wasn't mad earlier. I was scared, and I realized I shouldn't be scared of the person I'm supposed to love. But I think as friends, it'll be better. Thank you for your understanding. And she says, sorry, and Tectone says, when you say scared, like, what do you mean? What do you think I'm gonna do?
She was scared of him.
And then she went after his wife, and there was a whole controversy over that. She basically protected him, defended him, and he used her constantly.
Because I wasn't sure.
After Tectone was caught lying, he would respond in a classic manipulative manner. Quote, you ever just lie to protect someone, but they make it so hard? Aw, he's lying to protect Pink. Not because he was cheating and trying to assert a public narrative. To which Pink would respond by saying, he's not lying to protect me. He's lying because he doesn't want Sophia to know we were still together. I was told by someone else. He told her the same lie. We both know how you treated me and your ex-wife. You had her sign an NDA to keep her quiet about the abuse, and told me to specifically go over the car clip on stream, and lied to me and said it was the day you caught her cheating. But I found out later it was a lie. Just like your many lies you used to manipulate me to make you look like the victim, when she was the victim all along. She didn't even—
TLDR, the earlier clips were Pink is saying that Tectone's ex-wife cheated on him, and that's why he acted the way that he did in that clip. Here she is clarifying, no, you lied to me. You had her sign an NDA to keep her quiet about the abuse, and then you told me specifically to go over the car clip on stream and lied to me and said it was the day you caught her cheating, and I found out later it was a lie, just like many of your lies that you used to manipulate me and make you look like the victim when she was the victim all along. She didn't even know Cruz till a month later.
Even know Cruz till a month later. As shown here, this is how he treated both of us. Our friends saw it, my family saw it, and I'm glad I'm out. Pink attached 2 plane tickets from June 2022 of Cruz flying to meet Tectone, who later dated Freem. This is important because it proves that Freem did not meet Cruz until well after the car clip of Tectone acting like an abusive towards Freem. It proves that Tectone lied to Pink and his audience about his behavior being because Freem cheated on him. He is a liar.
Keep this in mind. This is the day he caught her and Cruz cuddling on the couch and realized she was cheating on him with Cruz, his assistant.
You lie! Liar!
Tectone would go live the next day. Of course, not to address anything specific about him lying or the timeline of events. This is typically what he does, but to talk in vagaries and try to manipulate his audience.
And then one of that posse.
As chatter. Do women have agencies? No agency whatsoever. Again, absolutely no agency. If you fundamentally can't understand the concept that when you're in a relationship, you want to believe the partner that you're dating, and you don't actively try and interrogate your partner and assume that they're always lying to you, like maybe you just haven't experienced this, and that's why you don't have the appropriate empathy here. But most normal people, most reasonable, normal people assume that their partners aren't actively lying to them. They assume that their partners are telling them the truth. And so when your partner tells you, yeah, this person is trying to ruin my life, they're trying to do this, like blah, 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 it would be an insane thing to say, I don't believe you. I'm siding with your ex that you're calling abusive. That's a crazy thing to say. Like, that is a crazy statement to make towards someone you're supposed to be in a long-term relationship with. So no, I don't blame someone for, while they're in the middle of a relationship, believing their partner and not interrogating them about everything. And then recounting that later and being like, I'm really sorry. Like, she did not do this. Like, all I can do is try and remedy the wrongs. Like, I didn't realize I was being lied to so hard. I wanted to see the good in my partner and it blinded me and I apologize. Like, what more do you like? You know what I mean? Like, that's not, it would be unhealthy and bizarro to be so paranoid about everything that your partner says and trying to make sure that you're like fact checking them on everything all the time. I genuinely, chatter, I don't know what you're talking about. This chatter, I'm not trying to like flame you or whatever. I just don't understand what you're like. You keep tagging me and saying, let's equivocate beating your spouse to doing weird shit. Let's equivocate beating your spouse to doing weird shit. That surely will not lead to dumb results. Okay, that's a little off, but Chad is saying like father like son is weird. I don't know. I don't understand. Like, beating your spouse to doing weird shit. Who in this concept, who in this statement is beating their spouse and who is doing the weird shit? I genuinely don't know. Is this one supposed to be the dad? Is this one supposed to be the dad? I don't understand. What is the weird shit in this context? I'm confused by your statements. I would love for you to specify more.
He decides to go to the...
His father was abusive. I mean, I would say his father did a little bit more than be abusive. I'm worried that you don't know what his father's accused for. Or accused of, excuse me. Sorry, not accused, charged. Convicted. And served in prison. Sorry, you guys are right. Thank you for correcting me. But trying to make connections to his weird situation with his wife. I have a genuine hypothetical for you. If you found out that your dad, or you knew that your dad had sexually assaulted multiple women under his command when he was in the military, and it was so many women and it was so bad that they literally named a bill after him to prevent military sexual abuse, and would you continue to talk to your dad at that time? Like, at that point, like, knowing all of these things, would you continue to like, and he served time. And these women lost their jobs, by the way, for coming out about it. Just so everybody's on the same page here. Those women literally lost their jobs for speaking out. They lost everything for it. It's off-putting. The problem is it's not just like that his dad did this and he exists separately. It's that he was down to bring his dad on his stream all the time, be buddy-buddy with him, on knowing all this information, and then just pretended like it wasn't a big deal. And he talks about how he like looks up to his dad in all these different ways, right? Like, that says something about you. If you find out that your dad's a fucking, he is so sexually inappropriate around women that he got arrested and put in jail for, I think it was 30 days. Was it 30 or 90 days? 90 days. And despite this, you're just like, well, I can look past that. That's fine. And then, so you're hanging out with this guy. You're having a great time. You don't see any issue with his behavior. There's also like that bizarro like Emaru clip where his dad is like hitting on Emaru. I don't know if you guys saw that clip, which is very weird. And then allegations come out against you. And women are filing police reports against you for sexual abuse. Do you understand why people might claim like father, like son? You're cutting off your parents for doing bad things completely, even if they change. You have to recognize that's like a big if, right? And also there are literally clips of him being on Tectone's stream, clearly not having changed his perspective on women. This chatter is correct. The chatter says, I absolutely love my dad. He's my favorite person. If he did that, I'd never associate with that fucker again. I'd change my name. It's just like, also like his dad was 50. His dad was groping women that were his subordinates at 50. Like, you're fried at that point. I think a reasonable person might be like, especially like a fucking streamer millionaire might be like, listen, I'll pay for his fucking retirement home and whatever, but I don't want to fucking even talk to this fucker. Like, you can still feel bad completely cutting off this connection and everything like that, but that's not what happened. Very bad shit, I agree. But eventually you'll build a relationship with him later on, later on. I disagree. This is where we disagree. If you think someone can change, if someone has like spent a good chunk of their military career sexually assaulting women at 50, went to prison, and these women lost their jobs, and this person is going to change at like 70, like you didn't even have to cut him off completely. Just like, don't put him on stream.
The dark side because they're too dumb to realize how good they had it with the main group. People who know what I'm talking about know what I'm talking about. And if you don't, it's fine. It is all good. I'm not the person who keeps saying like, oh man, I'm going to keep talking about it. Why are you talking about it? I'm going to keep talking about it. And I'm letting you guys know, for all you guys who know what I'm talking about, just know that person is going to keep talking about it till the end of time. So we'll probably be going over this about 80,000 more times. And it's going to be weird as shit. And I'm not going to lie, it's going to keep being weird as shit. Okay? It's going to keep being weird as shit. It's going to keep being weird as shit.
He's poisoning the well.
And so the truth comes out. How can you be compassionate for terrorist organizations, but your father is when you say no way? And chatter, what have I said that has been compassionate for terrorist organizations? Don't worry, I'll be waiting for your answer to the question, what have I said that has been compassionate towards terrorist organizations? I'm waiting for it. So your next message better be that, okay? Better not be a response to another chatter, better not be anything else. Your next message should be a response to the question. I'll say it very clearly one more time for you. What have I said that has been compassionate for terrorist organizations? Go.
Here, almost as if he knows something else is coming. Oh, it's gonna keep being weird, guys. I can't say the person's name or even talk about the specific allegations being made. It's just so weird.
And it's just gonna be over and over and over and over and over again. And guys, I'm gonna let you guys know this. Here's the plot twist, guys. Here's the plot twist. I've done nothing wrong at all.
Okay.
They responded. You don't condemn Hamas, whose literal existence is to tarnish Islam, can connect with terrorism leading to a spike in Islamophobia. Okay, this definitely wasn't an English sentence, but I'll look it over. You're also wrong. I literally have condemned Hamas's actions on October 7th. Did you consider you haven't seen those clips because they don't fit your narrative? I literally have said this. You made this up. Not just October 7th, but them stealing supplies to sell, which is ridiculous. You think I'm being compassionate for terror organizations because you've never seen a clip of me condemning Hamas stealing supplies to sell? You know, this isn't even like the current narrative, right? The current narrative is that they steal supplies to use them for their purposes, right? Also, them killing anti-Hamas Palestinians. You think I haven't condemned these things? Like, you've been following for less than a day, and you just made 3 crazy assumptions that I didn't condemn these bad behaviors. And you're wrong. Okay, now what? Why is it always about the chatters? Why is it always about the chat? Do I need to put the chat in emote only mode when I'm talking to these people? Why do they always, when I put them in a corner and I'm like, okay, you just accused me of 3 things that are not true. Respond. Then they're always talking about the chatters. Why do they do this? It's so annoying. I've said this before, but it's like, can you imagine going on a date with someone and they're like, I don't know, it just doesn't seem like you respect service workers. And you're like, what? I totally respect service workers. It just doesn't seem like you're really nice to like sanitation workers either. I'm like, what are you talking, what, like literally, what are you talking about? I love sanitation workers, huh? And they're like, did you notice the people in this restaurant are really loud and annoying? Anyways, can't you just like apologize for assuming things about someone and not having known that you're wrong? Is that so hard to do? I apologize. I've seen clips. That's about it. Do you consider that maybe the clips that you've seen are the only clips that actually don't get moderated off the subreddit, and any clip that's ever in full context gets immediately deleted off of whatever website you might be on, be it Twitter or Reddit? I did want to highlight this, chatter. My parents are estranged as of about 10 years or so ago. They're abusers. They got sucked into the QAnon hole, became worse abusers. Removing toxicity like that from my life, whether they're family or not, has been life-changing in a good way for me. I mean, yeah, like this is like a very common experience also for like queer people, for like gay and trans people. At some point, it's only like a negative experience for you to keep interacting with your transphobic or like homophobic parents. And at some point, you have to put your mental health ahead of theirs. And it's hard, but you have to like cut that. Because it's only hurting you. Right? Denims, please, the chatter, by the way. Yeah, but whenever I point out this stuff, sorry that Nightbot keeps timing you out. Whenever I point out that the chatters type this stuff, that chatters go into like, it's really funny because I know this stuff because I'm always watching. Guys, I'm a woman. Women know everything. Everybody knows this, okay? Yep, there it is. Sorry. It's like, whenever I point this stuff up, they get really defensive though, is the problem. Like their feelings get really hurt. And I'm trying to have like a conversation with them. So I'm trying to pretend like I don't know that they do this stuff, but I do know that they do this stuff. Like it is really funny to be like in my chat, you know, typing like you're compassionate for terrorist organizations. And then like you go into somebody else's stream. Asma Gold stream. Denims is crashing out. Tuned into a Denim stream for the first time. She's bland as fuck. Tuned into a Denim stream for the first time. She's bland as fuck. It's like, oh, dude, in 4K. A little bit of shame, man. Come on. But I think that these people have just never been caught being two-faced. This is the problem with not getting socialized with girls. Once you get caught once, just once, being two-faced as a girl, you're like, oh, that was bad. I did kind of get my ass exposed for that. I shouldn't act that way. I should say what I mean and mean what I say. And if I can say it somewhere else, I should be able to say it here. But they don't engage in that behavior, so like, I don't. Tough. It's embarrassing, but that's like, I don't want to embarrass them because I want them to engage with me genuinely. And I want to see if I engage with them in the way that I engage with my friends, which is like calling them out, like, because I'm like, I'm harsh on my friends in the way that I expect them to be harsh on me. But when I do that to new chatters, they get really defensive and I will never get an apology ever. So I have to be really, 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 really nice to new chatters. And I have to do a level of coddling that I wouldn't do for anybody else. Because I want to see if it's even possible, right? I want to see if it's possible to change any of these people's minds. Like, I want to believe that it is, right? And like, it is, see? So you have to be super, super polite. Like, you have to put on the kid gloves, you know? I'm enjoying the streams now. I like how you're interactive with chat. I am a value-tainer, okay? I'm a value-tainer. And I like to get people to admit that I'm a value-tainer.
Okay.
All right, back to the video. Enough of this. Let's get back to the video.
Yep. And that's it.
Wow, what a shock. The guy who weaponized his now ex-girlfriend against his ex-wife with police charges, lies, and smears is now somehow totally innocent of any wrongdoing whatsoever.
If anybody asks, did Techie do anything weird? Did he do this thing? Did he do that thing? No.
It's funny that prior to any of the serious allegations becoming public, Tectone is already priming his audience, telling them, hey, if you hear anything weird about me, don't believe it.
I mean, these people, there's people that are out of control right now. And aren't I so kind by not even saying their name? Because I am trying so hard to keep things cordial, but holy, I am trying so hard to keep it cordial. I am trying so hard not even to bring up their name.
Right.
Like I had it removed from my chat.
He's just the best guy ever. He banned his ex's name in chat and refuses to say her name because he's a saint. It's not because he wants to respond to this in a totally disingenuous way.
Like, oh my God, it's off. Jesus, it's insane.
I might have been banned.
And the worst thing is I'm trying to protect this person, but they keep yapping.
Interesting.
And then this person knows my dad has cancer. Like, just off.
You guys have to understand, he's actually trying to protect his ex, and she's attacking him while his father has cancer. Just more manipulative bull.
And it's my reputation for years. The amount of people that have me, that I have in turn protected.
This is so weird.
And kept their darkest fucking secret. And I've done such a good job of not saying any of the wrongdoings this person's done. And I don't plan to unless my hand is forced. But the problem is I worry about this person so much that if they become aware of their own actions, that they might hurt themselves. That shit makes me depressed.
He could prove that he wasn't lying, but you don't understand. He's actually saving Pink's life from not doing so because he's...
Which is like, by the way, one of the worst telltale signs that you're watching someone that's disingenuous when they're constantly portraying themselves as like perfect and they're always trying to help other people. It's like, this is like first grader level manipulation, right? Like it's not good. It's not good at all. Sorry, this chatter. Hey, I'm a new chatter. I think you have an issue like Hassan where you just deflect any criticism whatsoever in any way you can with mostly ad hominems, even when you don't know the person at all. I see it a lot with political commentary streamers. It's not a left or right issue. It's a fragile ego problem. Much love, smiley face. I mean, do you want to provide some criticism and see if you're right?
So empathetic. You can't see it right now, but he's actually on a cross dying for all of his ex's sin.
Because I'm trying to help somebody that clearly will not let me help them. I'm not going to hold back anymore. So off, or I am going to say what I need to say. And I'm going to say this very clear.
Yep.
I have never done anything that is cancelable.
Some excellent foreshadowing from Tectone. Currently, he's dealing with relationship
Foreshadowing is a narrative device.
drama. So why did it jump to being canceled?
I mean, Jesus Christ. It's just too much, man. It's like every day, all these can't keep my name out their mouth, and I do them a service of never even mentioning their name to not exacerbate the issue. But I swear to God, one of my closest friends coming out, they think that shit me? Hell no. Jesus, these people are so pathetic. I am going to move on. And the worst thing is,
Exacerbate. Stop.
You swore you would never do this to me. Because I even told you when we started this that I'm horrified of another person who I tried to take care of trying to me again.
You can tell how freaked out he is, and this is prior to any of the serious accusations becoming public by Pink. He's directly referring to Freem screwing him over. He knows what's coming, and the crazy thing is, it's so vague that nobody in the public knew any of the accusations Freem made. So he's directly talking to Pink, preemptively months before Pink made any of the allegations public, and none of the people have context of what he's referring to until now.
Over and over and over again.
Yeah.
The people who I help the most always me over. And you know what's crazy? And you see the people in my chat, and you see him asking who, and guess what? I'm still not gonna.
And like, can we just engage with that sentence for just one moment? All of the people I help always fuck me over, other than the many crosses he has to bear. Okay? If everywhere you go smells like shit. Maybe it's not that you're just such a helpful guy and that's why they're fucking you over. Maybe you're doing certain behaviors that people don't like. I'm not delusional about it. I know why people don't like me. They don't like me because I make them mad, because they either hallucinate things that I haven't said, or I say things that they dislike. It's one or the other. And I'm very unambiguous about the people that I dislike and the behavior that I dislike. So, yeah, I understand why people don't like me. I get it. But for me to get online and be like, it's not my fault. Everyone I helped is like, they're always trying to fuck me over. It's like, what the hell? No, these two things could be just totally like separate and unrelated. It might just be that you have behaviors that people don't like that you keep engaging in.
Say it.
Can we imply though?
Because at least I have some courtesy. That's my problem, is that I'm too good of a guy. One day I'll crash
My problem is that I'm too good of a guy.
out and I'll just post receipts of everything. Because here's the thing, guys, I don't do he said, she said. I keep receipts of everything.
It's important to remember
I really hope he has that clip of Tectone being like, you always keep one bullet left in the chamber. So you always are loaded. You always, and this is not me failing to remember the analogy. This is him making an analogy that didn't make any sense. It was bad. It was very cringe.
that as this escalates throughout, Tectone threatens to leak things which he says will prove his innocence on several occasions, but he never does. He never posts anything. And things are about to get so much worse. On November 20th of 2024, Pink would post on Twitter, quote, "How are you supposed to feel if a guy is abusive and makes you cry, then shoves your head into his crotch and demands you him off, and his excuse is, emotion just turns me on when you cry? Or when you're asking that you don't feel comfortable doing something sexual and he records you and demands you stop making faces and pretend you like it." Quick pause, but in the text Pink put out months ago, she does ask him to delete any sexual videos that he has. You don't know if it's consensual, obviously, felt it was worth pointing out. Or you say you don't want to do it anymore and he shoves your head down till you throw up. Guilt trips you into giving and says, "Do your job, you don't pay rent. I took you to a water park, so you owe me. And all you can do is sleep upstairs because you know what he's going to keep telling you to do. He doesn't touch you, doesn't have sex with you, just keeps you around as a machine and degrades you."
Now, me personally, I'm going to just keep it 100%. It will never not be the hottest thing ever when a thick female has a dick in their mouth. I will never need anything more than that. And it's just like, wow, bro, look at this human vacuum cleaner.
Makes you feel ugly. Don't wear baggy clothes. Straighten your hair. At least wear eyeliner around the house. Your self-worth totally crushed. I hate that people warned me. I didn't listen because I was so manipulated. I hate that I was lied to when another girl who went through worse was trying to come forward. Remember the stream Pink did where she went totally nuclear on Tectone's ex-wife?
She was going to do something much worse, so bad it would have ruined all of our lives. I'm not going to say what it was that she was doing, but it was so horrific it would have ruined all of our lives.
Freem was originally going to go public with allegations of abuse against Tectone. This is why Tectone had Pink go nuclear on Freem and accuse her of revenge and file a police report. This would lead to lawsuits involving Freem and Pink. Many of the claims Tectone was making that Pink would parrot were determined to be false, and the case would be settled after the determination in Freem's favor. Now, another settlement outside of this lawsuit happened between Tectone and Freem, I believe in Freem's favor, and led to both Freem and Tech being placed under NDA. So Freem wasn't ever able to go public with her allegations against Tectone, but there will be more evidence shortly that they were very, very similar to Pink's. Me and her are good now, but I should have listened. When you're in it, you feel blind to reason. I see some comments that are worried. I just want to let you all know I am out and have been at my own place and am safe. Don't want to worry anyone. I've been taking it one day at a time since this.
Today, you are going to see me at my worst. Today, I feel like gonna be real. And I'm gonna address this right now because this is not content for me. I mainly just want
Don't type. Don't say once Kick sees this, he's getting that immediate contract. Don't type that in this goddamn fucking chat. Stop. Stop it. Damn you.
my mods to hear this because I know a lot of my mods know about this. I'm gonna just keep it a buck. This ain't funny. This ain't cute. I can no longer help someone who is this stupid. I can no longer try to protect someone that is this stupid, who would betray me this much. And guys, I'm gonna keep this vague. I'm gonna keep this vague for a reason, okay? So if you're confused, you're gonna stay confused. I know the person who needs to hear this is gonna hear this. And I mean this genuinely. I did everything for you. I helped you with everything. I fixed everything for you. I was there for you like nobody else was there for you.
This guy is a fucking patron saint, dude. The way that he just helps everyone around him and they all are just like nailing him to the cross.
In your whole life. Your words, not mine. The fact that you're letting these people get into your ear, people, the same people who are talking behind my back illegally, by the way, the same people who placed me under an NDA, where I cannot talk about them. I know they're talking to you right now behind the scenes, and they're getting you to believe in bull, letting them get in your head and make you imagine problems that never happened.
This is such an insane explanation. His ex-wife manipulated her to create all of the things Pink talked about. Does that sound logical?
And it's insane how these things that have happened in your own mind, you are now coming at me, and this just isn't cute. So I am going to leave it at this. My lawyer is going to be contacting your lawyer, the same lawyer that I helped you get because you were scared. I'm not fucking around with this.
Yeah, Pink was scared of a woman that she self-admittedly had never even met or spoken to. Obviously, everything that she knew was coming from Tectone. Let's just look at a portion of the lawsuit Pink filed against Freem, and you tell me. On August 18th, 2022, Tectone hosted a live stream where he went on a real-life adventure visiting several anime shops and attending an elaborate and expensive sushi dinner. On the same day, Freem was extremely jealous of Tectone's adventure and was pouting in her office. Noticing Freem, Kurzum suggested they go out on their own adventure. Freem was excited by the prospect of going on a date with her crush, Kurzum, and agreed. Freem decided to impress Kurzum and put on her hottest outfit, a 2002 era Kim Possible look with turtleneck and cargo pants. She also made sure that her hair and makeup were perfect. Spance.
So cringe. Who is this dude anyways? Why is it worth our time watching him? His voice somehow makes me aggressive. I mean, you and everybody else, man. Like, I'm really like, I will never forget the fact, and nobody else should forget the fact, that the only person that LSF has ever hated more than me in any given conflict has been Tectone. That, like, when threads of me were being posted on LSF of me making fun of Tectone and calling him out for his bullshit, the comment section was filled with, I don't like Denims, but I hate Tectone. Upvote. You and everyone who is like, God, his voice is like fucking broken glass. Guess what? You and everybody else thinks that. He just has like this very egotistical air about him. He doesn't talk with a lot of regard for other people. He never owns up to like anything without making it come off like a Tim Heidecker skit. I'm in awe, by the way, that clip of like his dad being exposed as a fucking sexual predator in the military. And his response was to get on stream, start crying and say, after, by the way, a while back saying, oh yeah, you know all this? You know this? Yeah, sure, whatever. Because he didn't care. But then he gets on stream, starts crying, is like, I just like really like, you know, now that all this stuff has come out about my dad. Because of Hassan. But now that it's all come out, like, I guess I just like won't talk to my dad anymore on stream. I'm not gonna bring him on stream anymore. It's a fucking Tim Heidecker skit. It's like, this is supposed to be you being genuine. And you couldn't help but bring up how this is all Hassan's fault. And actually, you're still going to keep talking to the rapist dad. You just won't bring him on stream anymore, which doesn't show any conviction at all. It's just you saying, well, if everybody doesn't like him anymore, I guess I won't bring him anymore on stream, which is crazy, which is a crazy response. Like, he has a complete inability to act genuine. And it's all made worse by the fact that he's also kind of like really dumb. So he isn't capable of manipulating people effectively. Like the fake crying, it doesn't work when you aren't capable of recognizing, oh, I need to show people that I care. How do I do that? Oh, just not interacting with my dad anymore at all. That will show people that I really care. But he's literally not smart enough to be a convincing manipulator, so he's just like a really bad one. And he's really annoying, which is a crazy combination. It's just, oh my God.
Mentioned that Tectone was intimidating because Tectone was larger and...
At Denims, maybe it's just a me thing, but how do you deal with taking in all this stuff? This gives me so much secondhand embarrassment and rage. Well, I'm fueled by spite. Like 50% of my being is fueled by spite. So I kind of like to grab, like, as long as I feel like the person that is being charged with a crime on the internet, in the court of the internet, as long as I feel like that person is contributing harm in one way or another, and I try and speak to whoever I can to get more information, I just feel like it's okay to grab the popcorn about people that are pieces of shit. Right? Like, you should give as much as you can for as long as you can until it reaches like a point. I think a good example is Ethan Klein. A lot of people, despite the fact that it was like months of him posting on his story about how Hassan fans are all crazy tankies, Hassan fans are harassing him, Hassan fans are terrible. It was months of this, and Hassan was like, please don't interact. Like, I don't want any bad blood between us. It's all good. Please don't interact. Please don't interact. I don't have any ill will. Until, like, eventually it got to a point where Ethan was just like, well, you're a terrorist sympathizer. At a certain point, you can't just keep being good faith. And at a certain point, you should enjoy it, right? Like, okay, man, hey, we tried for months. We tried for years to be as generous as we can, tried to give you as much good grace as we could. And clearly you don't have any interest in taking us up on these offers. And you're insisting on being even more and more and more extremist. Fuck, dude. Sure. We can fight back. Sure, why not? We can make memes about you too. We can laugh about you too. We can grab the popcorn and have some fun. We're all having fun on the internet? Sure. I used to like Tectone for his earlier Gacha content, but now, even though I've suppressed him on X and YouTube, he's the only content creator I look up now, and again, just to hate watch. Damn, that's crazy, King Kano. I'm sorry for you. I am sorry for you.
Louder than Spance, which was extremely rare. Unprovoked, Bream responded that Spance shouldn't be intimidated by Tectone because he has a micro. I just find it rich that after getting Pink involved in this, letting her pursue revenge charges, then attempting to sue Freem based on Tectone's testimony of events, he takes absolutely no responsibility for any of this whatsoever. It makes me question just how culpable Tectone was after all the drastic measures Pink took against Freem, that they are now on good terms.
If you want to do this, then let's do this. But I can't sit here and hear your dumb schizo the out, which I thought you were medicated for. I guess not. Schizo the out. Repeat.
My ex-wife and ex-girlfriend are crazy. It's also like, again, this is what I mean when I say I feel like I have to go back to the whole like Tectone being dumb thing. Because he's not even smart enough to do this in a way that isn't immediately transparent. Right? Like, this to anyone with eyes and ears can see. It's an unbelievably transparent attempt to smear whoever you can that would dare to speak out against you. And then the most transparent attempt at being like, but I'm the greatest guy ever. My biggest crime is that I care too much. I just care so much and I just help everyone around me. Unlike my bitch ex-wife and my bitch ex-girlfriend who are literally schizo and they're getting medicated because they're fucking crazy. It's like, do you really think his audience maybe, do you really think other people's audiences are so dumb that they're going to watch this and not immediately see the most transparent attempt at a smear that's ever been done? Because everybody already knows this. The two easiest criticisms you can make are calling women crazy or dumb or both, and then calling men sex predator, pest, or whatever. Those are the go-tos. So is it not obviously transparent to everyone around you that when you go on your show and you just call these people crazy and schizo and medicated, that's your attempt at telling everyone you can't trust their narrative? Poisoning the well or whatever. Yeah, it's just like, and you don't even have to be like a genius to see that this is a very obvious attempt at poisoning the well. The fact that OTK exiled him and also been known to not cancel for minor things, some shit is up from a chatter. I mean, he claims that he chose to not renew his contract.
repeatedly. So enjoy. My lawyer will be contacting your lawyer, and we're gonna shut this down right now, because this is ridiculous. I tried to be cordial. I tried to be nice. I tried to be happy. I tried to help you. And that's the way that you're gonna repay me? Great. Check your phone messages. You'll be hearing from my lawyer very soon. I assist everybody that I know. The same
fucking image.
People who I help the most end up me the hardest. And it happens year after year after year. And everyone wants to pretend that I'm the bad guy. I'm done being the good guy.
The next day, Tectone would post a response on Twitter as well, giving Pink 2 weeks.
Works for Pirate Software. Think that will work here. I mean, it didn't even necessarily work for Pirate Software. And Pirate Software, listen, you don't even have to be a Pirate Software enjoyer to be respectful enough to talk about or to mention that he's obviously smarter than Tectone. And even with him, like, at a certain point, you have to be like, you have to pretend to not have an ego. Just like for a second, pretend like you aren't the most egotistical person.
To apologize and retract her statements, or he will pursue legal alternatives. He also proclaims that he was a victim of assault as well, which is not a good response to SA allegations. Can't be the abusive.
Yes and no. I mean, I think like realistically, abusers abuse, and that's what they do. And it's not really related to whether or not they were abused. And there are lots of abusers who have been abused and do that. And there are also lots who have been abused that don't. So like, it's not. But I get the point that he was making, which is like, well, this is in his world where he's innocent. How dare you accuse me of someone who's gone through something this serious of doing it to you? But unfortunately, wasn't Pirate Software's drama just about WoW? Was it actually moral failings? I watched his shorts for a while and he seemed like a kind person. I mean, I had like maybe less than a 5-minute conversation with him once at like at Streamer Awards. He didn't seem like a bad guy. I think he just like, I think he just has a little bit of ego and it blinded him a little bit. And then he felt like he was shoved into a corner, and instead of taking a step back and doesn't he use a voice changer? No, stop with this. Stop with the voice changer stuff. I do think it is funny, but also everybody knows men and women, but men experience a second puberty. This is all factually proven. I'm not even joking. The number of people that I've seen who they sounded completely different at 20 than they did at like 30 is crazy. No, stop. But the problem with Pirate is like, it's a behavior problem, right? It's not that he was like mean in a game or whatever. It's that his reaction to being criticized was bad. Right? And it speaks more on your character. It's kind of like, I mean, you guys have played games with your friends. You guys have played board games with your friends, maybe played D&D with your friends. Your personality comes out in a game. Who you are very fundamentally as a person when you're tryharding comes out in games. It's a very good way to find out the type of person somebody is. Like, I know for myself, I used to be a very sore loser. I'm still kind of a sore loser. And I used to be very aggressive. And I'd be like, I have to win. Like, I have to try hard no matter what. And I've like dialed it way the fuck back because it's not good behavior. And like a lot of times when I see other people, like I now care a lot more about other people having fun. And so when I'm winning really hard, I will try to do things to make other people have fun. Right? I was playing a friendly game of poker with some friends. And I was kind of cleaning up. All right. It was like $10 poker buy-in. And I was cleaning up. And I felt really bad. I felt really because everyone else was not having fun because they were getting cleaned up very early. And I was like, okay, well, like, I want other people to have fun. So I started doing like buy-ins with shots where I was like, okay, what would be the funnest way to bring these people back into the game that isn't just me throwing? Because, like, I don't believe in that. Like, you can't just let other people win and then they feel like they've accomplished something and they didn't because you just let them win. That feels mean, right? So I was like, okay, you know what? I'll sell money. I'll sell like some of my chips, but you have to take one of the worst shots that we have here, like the most disgusting shot that we have. And they're like, oh, fucking bring it over. Bring it over. Bring over the worst you got. Let's go. And then that's like fun, right? Because it's like they get to participate. Everyone's having fun. It's like a drinking game at that point. And like, and then you have to, and then it's like, well, let's see who else we can get to take a disgusting shot, right? Let's see who else we can take to get a disgusting shot. Everyone at that point is having fun. So like, no one, I'm not letting anyone win. I'm not actively throwing so other people can win.
PPL, take the piss shot.
But like, you know, it's in like fun spirits, right? And that way, no one is upset. Like, I don't know how else to explain it. You like learn to play nice with other people, which is why public school can be good sometimes, which is why homeschooling should always be paired with like kids actually going outside and interacting with people, because it makes you learn social skills. And it makes you learn, oh, wait, other people need to have fun too. And even though I want to win and I love winning and I love being competitive, other people need to have fun too, right? And like Pirate Software's problem was just not, his ego mattered more than everybody else's feelings. And people don't like that behavior.
If I'm the
You triggered my card.
Next day, Kitnetic on Twitter makes this post, which I find pretty interesting. Quote, "It's pretty damning that two women I was very close to told me the exact same story about the same man without ever having spoken to one another, to the last detail, going back years before they ever even knew the other woman existed. The same gaslighting, narcissistic, manipulative cycle of abuse." Pink then hearts this tweet, which confirms that it has to do with her. And the other person was obviously Freem, who was going to come out with allegations before something happened and NDAs were signed. Maybe a payout, possibly. Tectone would also announce what he called his resignation with OTK. I personally think OTK were well aware of his ex-wife's allegations, so this would have been the second go-around with abuse allegations, except this time they became public. Tectone actually tries to pass off that his contract was up, and he chose not to renew.
Let me explain to you why I left OTK, why I resigned from OTK. The reason why I resigned from OTK, why I did not, sorry, I'm very tired. Why I did not renew my contract with OTK that expired on November 1st, 2024. The original contract was 2 years with an additional option to extend by an additional year, thusly completing my 3 years in OTK. And the reason why I chose to not renew with OTK is because it gave me a weakness. And I realized I really don't like having weaknesses.
Yeah, sure. It was just a cosmic coincidence. It happened directly after Pink's allegations became public. Screw it. I'll count this one.
Are you calling me a liar?
You sit on a throne of lies.
Pressure would mount until Tectone decided to go live on the 24th and make the single worst response to allegations I have ever seen in my time online.
We're going to talk about everything. However, in regards to a specific situation, I am only going to give you the tip of the iceberg, because the rest I am going to hold until I need to say it.
Now would probably be a good time to talk about maybe a little bit more than 5% Tectone, actually provide receipts or talk about the situation more in depth, considering your last two girlfriends appear to be calling you a rape.
I want to let you guys know one thing. I am not going to tell you a single lie this entire stream. At least I'm gonna try not to. And you know what's crazy? Oh, and guys, in case you don't know what the allegations are, let's just get them out of the way. I have been accused by my ex-girlfriend of being abusive, mentally abusive, and potential. I've been accused of all those things. And before, there's a guy in chat who's saying, again, this isn't an again thing.
That was a fucking lie. He went in, you just said you were going to try not to lie, dude. I know people often say that they feel like I highlight only the negative chat messages, or I don't highlight the positive chat messages enough. So this is an attempt to remedy that. Came in here and followed because I was on the fence where Tectone was concerned. Seeing all this stuff compiled really has adjusted my viewpoint. Your chat's low-key awesome too. Thank you very much. Would sub if I could. Oh, thank you, Broken Arrows. Thank you. But that's also why the person who was asking earlier, like, why are you watching this? Like, this feels weird to watch. It's like, no, not when this guy is being accused of being a sexual abuser, and the people accusing him have literally gone to the police to investigate him, which he has admitted that there's an investigation on him. And it's good to cover something that's so comprehensive because a lot of this stuff has unfolded over years and people don't want to watch 10,000 VODs and a million different clips and read 10,000 twit-longers. So compiling something like this is really useful for the people who just like, they don't know.
This is a one-time thing. There is no again.
That's a lie.
Liar!
He's a liar.
In my 30 years of being alive on this earth, there are two things that I've never done. I have never cheated. I have never placed anyone under an NDA.
Tectone unfortunately forgets
Why are we just lying? Like,
to include the in the list of things he's never done. Keck.
I'm going to give you guys 5% of the proof and the evidence that I have in my favor. He doesn't touch you, doesn't have sex with you, and keeps you around as a blood machine and degrades you. First of all, I've never degraded you. I never have, never will. And the other reason is Pink.
I never have, never will.
You understand why I would not have sex with you. As a victim of assault and rape myself, I had trauma when it came to having sex.
Also, totally valid point, by the way. Wild to not say that he's never sexually assaulted someone right there. I'm going to tell you guys the total truth, nothing but the truth, everything but I'm going to try my best to not lie to you guys. Here's the total truth.
This is a known fact. I have told you this from day one. I've also said if you can't handle it, it is what it is. I don't want to apologize for being raped and being scared.
So this isn't a big secret, but a context you should probably have is that this was the case for the majority of the 10 years with Freem and 2 with Pink, which corroborates Pink's allegations, the type of physical relationship that was had. Tectone attempts to offer this as an explanation, but it really just illustrates how disordered he is.
Now, I would like everybody to know, over the course of the past 4 months, I have since gotten over that.
Well, that's a bit convenient.
I'm understanding everything the romantic do is crazy.
The demon is a liar.
A liar?
That liar!
So, I would say, talking about things is good.
Tectone addresses Pink's post and provides only a single receipt, which in his mind is going to clear the entire debacle up. Must be pretty damning. Let's take a look.
Guilt trips you into giving jobs and says, do your job, you don't pay rent. I took you to a water park, so you owe me. Pink, you implied that I was paying you to suck my. That is not true. You know that's not true. What you would do is you would go upstairs, you would record your OnlyFans, and then you would beg me to suck my dick. You say that I would say, do your job, you don't pay rent. This is factually untrue. Here is you paying rent, not one time, but multiple times. That is you paying rent. And now what you might be thinking is, oh, well, maybe those are just edited screenshots. Well, then if you're not happy with my word, allow me to show you your own. My trauma with Tectone. I have been Tectone's roommate for a year now, and I can say he is one of the most understanding, kindest persons I have ever met, and contrary to popular belief, I do pay rent, Lamau.
Total Tectone victory. He did it. She paid rent. She was lying, right? Only there's one big tech dope issue.
She never said that she never paid rent. Oh, it's me! Look, it's me! Oh my god, I'm famous.
Only there's one big tech dope issue.
She never said that she never paid rent. She said that Tectone told her that since you don't pay rent, you have to pay me back in these other ways. And then we literally saw a video of him doing exactly that.
So it's fucking bullshit.
She never said that she never paid rent. She said that he said she never paid rent.
Is that the garbage has not been taken out in 7 days. It's Pink's responsibility. And the reality is that she's in my house role-playing as a goth Hooters orderer, waitress. And honestly, it's really annoying because the reality is she doesn't pay rent. The reality is she doesn't pay rent. She's not doing her responsibilities, and she needs to do.
Oh, hang on a minute,
garbage is
bro. So, dude, that is very deceptive on his part.
It actually beggars belief. The only point.
That's a caught moment, dude. That was a caught moment. I was eating, by the way. That was the clip that got posted to LSF, and then everyone was like, wait, I hate Tectone. I don't like Denims, but I hate Tectone. Upvote.
Point Tectone makes to address and fight against these accusations, he just straight up lies about. As he clearly states there,
the reality is she doesn't pay rent.
This was one of the things I actually asked Tectone about, and surprise, surprise, he refused to answer.
He's lying. I knew you were lying.
And I wish she would understand. If she would just delete the post and apologize, all of this would go away and things would go back to normal. Will you tweet out the proof? I will at a certain point. I will at a certain point. I really, truly hope that you guys believe everything that is that I said. If you didn't, I'll provide proof later.
Right. So obviously without proof, nobody knows what actually happened. But it's like, dude, this guy's only receipt was him being totally deceptive and just straight up lying, caught in 4K. And here's the thing, it's not even on him to provide proof, but he said he had it and will provide it and just never does as things get increasingly worse. How does this make any sense? How am I not supposed to see this as incredibly suspicious? Literally, him never talking about the allegations would have been better. Worst response ever.
LSF is a miserable place. And I know that now that I have shown proof with receipts that I am cleared of all wrongdoing.
In January of 2025, Pink would state that Freem never actually had revenge for her, that she was lied to and used as a pawn to defame someone that didn't deserve the hate, that her and Freem had cleared up what really happened, and that any lawsuits/charges wouldn't be pursued, and that most of what was put out was distorted in order to defame Tectone's ex-wife, Freem. On January 15th, Tectone made an announcement basically saying, "Hey guys, I know I said I was going to sue Pink, but unfortunately, she knows all the loopholes in defamation cases. Yes, the young OnlyFans girl who sounds like this."
Look, okay, I'm a girl. I don't want to look bad. What if my coochie comes out?
Here's the crazy.
Thank you. Now my sisters are now gamer nerds and weebs, and I have infected them.
It's a defamation savant, totally ruining your life. This makes total sense. Don't question it. But from the website...
Dude, Pink is hilarious, by the way. Pink is, by the way, so unbelievably funny. I love her.
Law Shelf, it specifically states that, quote, for a statement to be considered defamation, it must be about the plaintiff. Even if the statement does not mention him or her by name, it can be actionable on grounds of defamation if a reasonable person would understand the communication as referring to the plaintiff. And seeing as every single person on the internet that knows about this understands that it's being communicated by you, it looks like you're full of shit yet again.
Been lying to me.
I don't see what he's saying about her. Is he saying that she's stupid? No, he's saying that she's not like this manipulative monster that's out here to like attack him and destroy his character and defame him. Obviously, I don't think that that's proven by two random clips, but
I'm gonna charge you with perjury.
He also states once again in the face of abuse allegations that it's actually him that was assaulted and that Pink is actually inhumanely weaponizing assault against the real victim, Tectone. Again, it's just a terrible response.
Oh, sorry.
Regardless of its validity when facing these accusations. He also brings up the NDA, but sort of lies about ever putting anyone under one for allegations they were going to make. Well, we know now for a fact Freem was going to come out with allegations against Tectone, and shortly after that, a settlement, payout, or something happened, and both parties were put under NDA. 2 weeks later, on January 23rd, Pink would announce that she had contacted the police and reported Tectone. A couple of months after the Pink allegations became public, Tectone got a literal Berserk tattoo to represent his struggle. If you don't know about Berserk, essentially the main characters get what is called a brand of sacrifice, where after receiving it, they are doomed for eternity to be pursued and sacrificed by demons. This guy gets accused of abuse and is acting like he is Guts from Berserk, literally branding himself to represent his struggle. It's unbelievable. He's like Guts, guys, but instead of fighting demons, he women. Not only this, but what do you think Berserk is famously controversial for? You guessed it, gratuitous amounts of SA. I'm not kidding, this guy got the anime tattoo after getting accused of it. After he cut off communication with me for the next few days, he started emo posting stuff like this as well.
I don't mean to be the person to say this, but as a weeb, let me just say, I feel like a lot of the portrayals of sexual assault and abuse in Berserk that I have seen have been very responsible, and it's very obvious who the victim is. Like the way that they handle, starts with a C. Her name starts with a C. Not Kara. The fuck is her name? Casca. Like that is, they show that this is a way to use power to dominate those around you. That just as like violence or murder or maiming or whatever, that you can physically overpower an enemy, you can also sexually overpower somebody, and that it is a bad thing by the media that the bad people do. So yeah, I just wanted to be clear. I am a Berserk defender. I'm a Berserk defender.
Oh, which is hilarious. He's Guts, for real, for real. Since you're being sacrificed, I guess I'll be Boyd.
That everything lies within the currents of causality.
And that should bring us to the present. And unless you've been living under a rock for the past 6 months, you've probably seen
Yeah, it's done better, and it is better done in most cases, but definitely used too much, or especially in the earlier on as shock value, as a grotesque weapon of war. Yeah, I just think that like they handle the conversations, at least the ones that I've seen, they handle it really. I haven't finished or caught up. I don't know where the Berserk manga is, but it's done. The conversations about it are done really well.
An entire legion of content creators crying about this guy.
You know that Hassan Piker?
Yes, somehow the man with the small head who kicks a bag worse than any mid-40s woman doing jazzercise has become the face of radical politics and terrorism on the internet. So much so that the feds are now pulling him into back rooms to talk to him about Twitch bans.
For those of you who don't know, I was detained by Customs and Border Patrol. I was tactically ascertained. They're watching. Oh, the feds are watching. They're always watching. Feds are always like this. Okay, now we know for real.
People are so obsessed with taking this guy down, they've actually weaponized the ADL to go after him.
But all of us need to call it out. I'm thinking about the New York Times doing a gauzy profile a few weeks ago of this gamer, Hassan Piker. Like, extremists should not be empowered. People who spout prejudice should not be platformed.
Gone are the days of Samhai putting on an Irish accent, talking about hunting him down in his house in California. We've now entered a period where every single day is filled with people clutching pearls and bitching about how the small head man needs to be banned off of Twitch's platform because he's a dangerous man. The guy's been a leftist extremist since working at the Young Turks. This isn't really a new development. But if I have to be subject to everyone crying about this guy, you have to listen to me cry about how repetitive it is. Alleged Weinstein ogre Tectone decided he wanted to get in on
Alleged Weinstein ogre. Oh my god.
the Hassan bad craze by announcing he was leaving Twitch. I am genuinely considering full swapping to YouTube if this terrorist propaganda isn't punished harshly and immediately on Twitch. My fathers, my brothers, and our soldiers did not bleed, sacrifice, and die for this to be allowed and promoted on Twitch. This needs to be changed immediately.
I did not watch my buddies die face down in the muck.
Hassan would respond, basically calling Tectone a but what happens next elevates this story to an all-timer.
Here's apparently. By the way, guys, here's a link to the video. Please give it a subscribe, give it a like, give it a comment. Not enough subscribers. Pretty good video. YouTube is ShaMoo, ShaMoo.
Tectone, as soon as he came after me and talked about his father's like military record or whatever, the internet found out that motherfucker dad did the same shit that he did.
And victims like Heath Phillips. When he told his commander, his report was ignored. The Department of Defense says 19,000 incidents of assault occurred in 2010 alone. Nearly 90% went unreported.
Biggest photo you see is of Colonel Michael Robertson. He was convicted of 14 accounts of
assault.
Turns out apple doesn't fall far from the tree, folks.
Hey, you know they got your mans. They got your mans on assault charges. Yeah, you be hanging with. The you be hanging with. And he was your mans. He was your boy. How you grew up with him.
You're being embroiled in abuse and
Dude, that TikTok got way too much value.
allegations for months. Tectone's own father
Man, you
turned out to
grew
be
up
possibly
with.
the most infamous sex pest in U.S. military history. His father was such a that they literally had televised C-SPAN Congress hearings in an attempt to stop future assaults by using him as the example.
I rise again today to draw attention to the epidemic in our military of sexual assault. 19,000 women and men each year are or assaulted in the military. This travesty is not being addressed, and I will continue to speak out on this floor until it does. Today, I would like to tell the story of one of the 8% that were prosecuted. The story of Colonel Michael Robertson, who commanded Fort Bliss's 31st Combat Support Hospital at Camp Dwyer, a military base and airfield in the Helmand River Valley in Afghanistan. Last week, Colonel Robertson was convicted by a military judge of 14 charges, including having on his government computer, harassing 3 women, and assaulting 5 women. 8 women that served under his command testified at great cost to their careers and their privacy. Colonel Robertson routinely touched them without permission on their breasts, thighs, and buttocks, and encouraged them to look at the computer. Some testified the harassment occurred daily. Despite repeated warnings, Colonel Robertson also emailed friends and female subordinates. What makes the defense's answer to all these actions? That all of these jokes and the touching were attempts to boost morale. Colonel Robertson, the majority of assailants are older and of higher rank than their victims. They abuse not only their authority, but also the trust of those they are responsible for protecting. Survivors can email me at stopmilitary@mail.house.gov if they would like to speak out.
This was all part of the creation of the Sexual Assault Training Oversight and Prevention Act, which was created because of Tectone's father. You may be thinking, wow, can't get any more absurd than this, right? Well, you would be wrong, as Tectone regularly would have his father on live streams and podcasts. And what do you think that typically looked like?
Obviously, you're not aware of my first podcast with Techie.
Oh, the one where I showed you.
What do
you think about that?
Do it again.
Daddy issues?
They all have daddy issues. Well, she has a facial expression as if to say, hey, sailor. I like the little short dress. She looks like she works out.
One of the first things Tecto says to me is like, sup, dude? By the way, my 17-year-old father thinks you're hot. And I was like... Uh-oh.
First thing he did was he put me into some kind of headset and costume and put me in this AI room.
VR chat.
Am I moving? Oh, my God.
Yeah, so that's chill. And that's
Yeah, but how... Oh, Lord, have mercy. And so he's got me in that headset, and I'm in there, and
I'm holding them on.
It's getting bad. And, but I don't know if it's as dressed up as a girl.
I gotcha.
Right, because
Or
that's the
whether-
thing.
Yeah, or whether it's you dressed up as a girl.
Probably mostly
Yeah.
Asmund.
Yeah.
We're gonna give him a heart attack, I swear to God.
A convicted pervert father and son bonding, where you feel up anime waifus in VR that may or may not be men, is insane, even by my standards.
And you can, the sensors made it feel like I was being touched.
Damn.
Yeah. And it felt like this one character was unzipping my pants. Freckles, the hair.
And I want you to bark for me.
Woof. Wait a minute, I got another dog. I got another. Want to hear my other dog? Oh, that's my other dog. How we doing? She looks real submissive and looks like, in the words of Halsey, I can take a pounding.
What do you think?
6 years old, maybe?
Yeah.
That's what she looks like.
I am so sorry to the raiders that are coming in right now as we're talking about one of the worst things on the planet. I am so sorry, Raiders. Thank you for the raid. Thank you. Welcome. Please, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Do you know what a lolly is?
Looks like a 3-year-old.
What a furry is?
No.
There are people who dress up in like dog suits. But you know what pegging is.
I can tell you a great pegging story.
One of them.
8 stepmoms? Hold up. What?
7 stepmoms? How many have I had?
I'm a bad man, but it ain't, okay? It's like saying you're going to make not have the money shot. It ain't there ain't a money shot. You know, people ask me, what was about the military? What did you like? Well, I love the camaraderie.
Stop military.
Incredibly, Tectone brought his father into the online arena, and even though he had sexual charges, thought it would be wise to have him goon out to lolly and VR gacha game degeneracy. The reaction to Hassan striking back at Tectone was met with many people bemoaning Hassan for attacking family or going low. However, Tectone brought him onto his own platform. He can be talked about, and if you think for a minute I shouldn't talk about him being an infamous convicted military pest, you can go yourself. I don't care. The following is taken from a blog that sources news publications that were done at the time, dated November 13th, 2011. Quote, after he was found guilty, the colonel walked over to one of the victims and said, I'm sorry. She started to sob and walked away, appearing to make sure not to let him touch her. Later, before he was sentenced, the colonel looked at the women who accused him from the stand and said, I would like to apologize for any and all of the actions that led to these proceedings being necessary. It was never my intent to harm or offend any of the women, and I will take the burden to my grave. The colonel's mental health doctor at Fort Bliss testified that he was as a young child by a male caretaker and currently suffers from post-traumatic stress disorder and depression. There is some cosmic irony that both Tectone and his father's response to allegations in court proceedings for sexual impropriety is in both cases to state that they were both victims of abuse. In Tectone's case, to use as a shield as to why he couldn't possibly have done anything wrong, and in his father's case, as an attempt to explain his behavior.
And then Hassan starts going after my father. And I get very confused by this. Because me and my father have had a pretty bad past. I'm pretty open about this. My father's gone to prison. I'm very open about this.
Here's Tectone 2 weeks prior to this, where he acts like he has no idea what anyone's talking about when his father's convictions are brought up.
Your father went to jail for the same Oh, really? Wait, tell me more, man. Tell me more. What else? Who'd my dad Who? 5 women in the military accuse your father of Really? That's crazy. You think so? What else? That's why he went to jail discussing vote. Really, man? That's interesting. How do you know so much? How are you so all-knowing? My father's gone to prison. I'm very open about this.
You are a bald-faced liar.
If anybody's surprised, yeah, my dad's gone to prison before. Me and my father have had a pretty interesting past.
Instead of addressing the news surrounding his father, who he brought on streams, and just take the L, Tectone decides to pull on the heartstrings of his viewers and talk about all of his childhood trauma. There's really no need to, and it comes off as manipulative, while under a microscope of controversy.
When I was a young boy, I came from a very, very, very poor family. I did. My mother never really treated me well, and I was named after my father's best friend because I was supposed to die at birth.
Are you serious right now, bro?
I lived with my mother until about 3rd grade, and you know, something very bad happens to me. I don't feel like talking about it due to that thing happening to me.
Imagine giving your son daddy issues and then insulting women who have daddy issues, or accusing women of having daddy issues when it's you or the person doing this.
Lawyers get
my
involved.
God.
The court gets involved. When I moved in with my dad, it was a very like hands-off relationship with me and
This is my, I'm gonna be honest, chat, this is my hottest take. This is like actually a scalding take. I don't get how people can have daddy or mommy issues. It's like, don't. Like, which I know is not, that's not how you react towards that. And I'm not a licensed psychiatrist and all these other things. But it's like, some people are cool, some people aren't. And a lot of people are parents. That's a coin flip if you get good or bad parents. If they sucked, yeah, you just aren't. You just got an unlucky roll, dude. Right? To be clear again, I get it. People experience psychological trauma and it's harder to move on for some people than other people. And I get that and I understand. And people experience trauma differently and I understand all of that. But it's also like...
This just in. Supposedly pro-trans streamer Denims alienates her entire trans audience.
The point that I'm making is like... Some parents suck. You might get unlucky to get those parents. My parents were pretty mediocre. But like, exactly this. Don't blame your shitty behavior on daddy issues is what you're trying to say. Exactly this. I don't see how you can be like a giant piece of shit and then be like, well, it was my dad. It's like, huh? You have to process your shit and not hold on to it as a scapegoat? Exactly. Cheddar, stop. Cheddar says, my dad is a cop. You don't see me committing state-sanctioned
I was
murder.
raised
Stop.
in an abusive, broken household. Tectone in half of his streams. Yo, Denims, hi chat.
You can have issues because of your parents, but at some point you're aware of them and have a choice about whether or not to care. It's also like ability to like seek therapy for it or whatever, right? Like if you're not in a financial position to, etc. But like, you're your own person. You can't treat other people like shit. And then pretend like you can just push all of this off to some other group of people, to your parents, to your friends, to your past partner, whatever.
And my dad, he bought me and my brothers a separate apartment to live while him and my stepmom lived in a separate apartment.
And right away, Tectone is provably misrepresenting the truth yet again.
Tectone said that whenever he was in high school, you had a separate apartment for them to be at so you could have privacy with your own apartment.
Fourth grade.
All right. That's not untrue, but that is a misrepresentation of the truth. So he and his brothers went into a 2-bedroom that was down the hall until 4 months later when we moved to a house.
Don't lie right now.
You lie. And me and my father never really interacted much, and I was just considered the failure of the family. I was on by pretty much everybody, including my dad. I'm not gonna lie. And I'll be real, I was never really treated too good.
Yes, after bringing his father on podcasts and streams, now that the internet has found out his history, he is going to completely throw him under the bus for hundreds of thousands of viewers.
Father becomes incredibly violent. I hear that my father has been accused of a crime, even though my father never treated me too well. Nobody ever really wants to believe that about their dad. And I'm just gonna be real. Like when you talk to my dad, he like be grabbing you. I'm not gonna lie. And he doesn't do that anymore because I told him it's weird as shit. But he would like grab your shoulder, he would grab your arm. And he said that's what he got convicted for. And obviously he took some of the aggression out on me. I got back from soccer practice, which I joined because I wanted to make my dad proud. And I put a orange soda can on top of my trash can. My father threw me to the ground and put a gun against my head, and he said, give me a good reason not to shoot you.
So you felt comfortable bringing your father around all of these public people several times, and now that he has some hate online, you're going to out him as this abusive monster? It's strictly, in my opinion, to garner sympathy from his audience and just totally using his father to do so.
Now, obviously, this isn't really anything that I just really want to talk about on stream. However, a really great Twitch streamer.
You know that Hassan Piker?
It's just making me relive my childhood trauma because of all this. I hated my father because he never told me that he was proud of me.
You serious?
He always made me feel like a failure. And to be honest, he was quite abusive. Looking into what I heard that he was convicted of, which I never did.
It is quite literally the first and third results on Google when Googling your father's name, Tectone. The third in all caps.
You knew that your dad went to prison and you were never like, I should look into this.
Assault in
As
the
an
military.
adult?
I guess 15 years after the fact is quite painful. It is. Anyways, fast forward a little bit. After I was homeless for a tad, I would DM them about how sometimes I had no money to where I couldn't even afford to eat. And it got met with laughter. Due to this all being resurfaced by Hassan, due to what my father was convicted for, which really hurts to say.
I mean, I'm not sure why you've known about it for the last 15 years.
This is it. This is the skit I was telling all of you about.
It's kind of hard to think of your family as a monster, but I didn't sleep much last night. I honestly didn't want to believe it last night.
Yeah, sure. It's not like people have been posting at you that your dad went to jail for being a pest for the last 5 months.
And I don't really know what to think, but I think the fact that Hassan wants to imply that I'm a monster
You know that Hassan Piker?
based off of who my father is disgusting.
Like, this man has, I guess, epigenetic memories of. It's just like, it's a familial obligation over here.
And to imply that I'm a.
Yeah, whatever. He made a joke at your expense because you've been involved in SA allegations the past year, and then the internet found out that your dad was one of the most infamous pests in U.S. military history. I get it. I made a whole documentary about it. It's like an absurd cosmic joke at your expense.
And to imply that I'm a.
Is he whimpering? The man is literally whimpering directly into the microphone over a joke Hassan, the face of terrorism in 2025, made. This is 100% performative. You cannot convince me otherwise. You could pause and play a song to center yourself, but instead, you're staying on stream and whimpering directly into a microphone.
After I myself have been twice based
Stop playing
on
the
what
clip of him whimpering, please, for the love of God.
my father has done. It's just a little bit crazy, isn't it?
He is actually trying to use SA as a shield against Hassan Piker making jokes about his dad being a convicted pest. It's the BPD woman meme to say you were SA'd in order to be deemed beyond reproach or criticism. Funnily enough, he did the same thing with Pink when she made allegations against him. Maybe you're thinking I'm jumping to conclusions and being too harsh. Well,
Denims, it's this.
just a few minutes later, after that great performance to garner sympathy from his audience, he switches on a dime like nothing ever happened. You be the judge.
But, yeah. I'm gonna just keep farming the out of them. To be honest. Yeah, I don't give a.
Oh my God, the mouth noises. I jokingly started doing the mouth noises and then he actually started doing them.
Yeah, straight up. I'm good. Yeah, it is what it is. There's not really anything he can say to deter me whatsoever, to be completely honest. Yeah, I think the guy's an absolute piece of shit. Do I think he's in the wrong for what he said about my dad? No, not really. I mean, at the end of the day, those are public court documents. But try to tie me to that because of who my dad is, bro, you're retarded. You're just dumb. You know what I mean? Like, this whole apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Go yourself, dude. We all know the great guy your dad was. Thanks for having.
Sorry to ask a dumb question. I just got here to stream. I don't know who this guy is. Can you give a quick summary? Never heard of him. Well, he is someone who, where do we start on this character? For people who just now or like caught some of the stream, he's someone who was accused of sexual abuse by more than one person, but his ex-girlfriend filed a police report. She spoke with the authorities about it, and she accused him of this behavior. And he's also been just a terrible, separate from that, also just been a terrible person on the platform. Like, he just sides with Asmongold no matter what Asmongold says. He calls like Hassan a terrorist sympathizer. Any woman just like on the internet that posts any photos of herself is obviously a whore. He incessantly harassed Frogan to the point where Twitch literally stepped in and said, "You've been doing nothing but harassing her for fucking months. If you keep it up, we are going to ban you." And then he kept it up, and then they banned him for like a week, I think. And this is after calling her like Jabba the Hutt, calling her fat, telling her to put down the fries or whatever. Like, again, like months and months and months and months and months. He just, yeah, just like a really just insane person. Insane person.
Have a little bit of class to actually not talk about that. What a joke. Anyways, we're gonna be having a podcast with Dan Saltman later, which I bet is gonna be so great. We have a great podcast with Dan Saltman and Nux Taku. That will be happening in 53 minutes. Hassan's favorite streamers.
Tectone's ex-girlfriend Pink would also say on Twitter that wasn't going to say anything, but that guy would not stop talking about how he wanted to have relations with a podcast member, made jokes about women being in Vietnam, and made me extremely uncomfortable. I tried to say something and was told it wasn't a big deal. He would say the women who accused him of SA in the military were liars, and I still can't believe he was allowed around other female content creators, including me. The truth always comes to light, and I hope those women know they did the right thing.
Your dad's a yeah.
Tectone's ex Pink posted proof in March she went to police, and on May 9th, after returning from traveling abroad, posted an email setting up further investigative meetings with the police. Tectone's community, who are obviously biased for their streamer, regularly accuse Pink of faking these screenshots. But don't take her word or mine that there is police matters at hand. Take Tectone's word.
Guys, I'll be real. I went to the police yesterday. Saying, hey, let's hurry this up.
I had no idea you could tell the police, let's hurry this up when they're investigating you. I'm learning so much, guys. This is awesome.
Like, legit. I got my lawyers say, hey, let's hurry this the up, right? Because, like, you know, they're going to investigate me. They're going to investigate me 100%. They're going to investigate me. They're going to investigate me 100%. I said, bro, just talk to me. Let's get this go. I've been waiting 7 months for these people just to reach out to me. And it's like, bro, can we just go ahead and wrap this up? Like, if anybody's worked with the police, it is so slow. It's unbelievable. And then all you ever get told is, I recommend you don't say anything. I recommend you don't say anything. I recommend you not saying anything. Let's handle this in court. Let's handle this in court. Let's handle this in court. It's like, brother, I don't want to go to court. I don't want to deal with it. I just want to live my life.
That's quite a change from his original threats to sue Pink for defamation, isn't it?
You no longer have 2 weeks. You have 24 hours.
I mentioned this earlier, but I did speak with Tectone. He said he would answer whatever I wanted. However, once he noticed the questions, he hid behind the NDA with Freem, even though half of the questions had nothing to do with her. I asked him about the allegations, and as stated earlier, he just straight up lied to me about that. I asked if he ever posted any other receipts as he said he would, if there was ever a period of time where Pink wasn't paying rent, and why he wasn't pursuing a defamation case after he said he would. He responded with, I think the problem with a lot of these questions is that with an ongoing lawsuit happening, I think you know I can't talk about a lot of this. Out of curiosity, to not feel any fire, wouldn't it just be better to wait to make this video until the result of the investigation, or why does it need to be made now? The guy is low-key asking me not to make this video in an attempt to cover this up. That's how I take it after he answers none of my questions. I asked which ongoing lawsuit, to which I received no answer, and asked again the next day if he was referring to the NDA with Freem, and again received no answer. The thing is, none of those questions I asked had anything to do with his NDA with Freem. They were all concerning Pink. In conclusion, I would say, in the public discourse, we judge these controversies that aren't definitively proven on the character of the parties involved. We know Freem was going to come out with accusations now 100% based on court documents obtained, and that Tectone has consistently lied about this for years. When Pink and Tectone got word of these allegations, they went absolutely nuclear.
She was going to do something much worse, so bad it would have ruined all of our lives.
They defamed Freem with cheating allegations to explain Tectone's behavior, which we now know is false with receipts. They also knowingly or unknowingly filed a false police report against her for revenge. Pink sues Freem, which from what we have available is filled with Tectone's stories and interactions with Freem, which I conclude is him participating and feeding info for Pink's lawsuit. He denies encouraging Pink, but we have proof of him participating. Pink gets cheated on. Tectone lies about the breakup date to avoid responsibility, and receipts are posted proving him wrong and showing Pink saying she was scared of him. Pink accuses Tectone of abuse. Her story hasn't wavered, and currently there is an ongoing police investigation according to both Pink and Tectone. Tectone says he can prove his innocence with receipts, but he never provides any, besides one on Pink paying rent, which he later gets caught lying about.
And honestly, it's really annoying because the reality is she doesn't pay rent.
Tectone threatens to sue Pink for defamation and saber rattles, but when she doesn't retract, he claims Pink knows every legal loophole. But we now know just because he isn't named doesn't mean he can't pursue. And
I'm just streaming. Did he go back and forth from being calm to crying sympathy, then being calm again to justify what he just did in the same few sentences as highly manipulative behavior? I mean, yeah, he just... Yeah. Yes. Yes, Chatter, correct, Mars. You are right. I love this person. She can't stop watching Tectone. Watches Tectone for the first time in like months. She can't stop. She can't stop watching Tectone. I'm growing stronger. Yes. Power me. Yes. Every time I shit on a male creator and their sycophants come in and they're like, you're obsessed, I get a little bit more powerful. I gain a bit more power and strength. Keep it up. Keep going.
And still to this day, he has yet to file a defamation case against Pink. While making a video on Tectone, reached out, to which he responded saying he will answer any of my questions, and then refuses to, when in my opinion, he realizes how in-depth I've looked into this. I consider Tectone a liar and a manipulator of his audience, spinning stories to attempt to escape the small...
You can tell it's a Tectone fan, because he's following the family tradition of sexually harassing people. Show butthole! Oh, dude. Life can always be worse, guys. Life can always be worse. You can be a Tectone fan.
Most of controversies such as cheating, to the more extreme lying in the case of his response to allegations against Pink, and how he spun the rent situation. I began making this video over the absurdity of his father's infamous rape, coupled with his own allegations, and came away with revelations of his ex-wife alleging abuse that led to false police reports, lies, and lawsuits in response to this abuse potentially becoming public. This, coupled with the ex-girlfriend's abuse allegations, are a catastrophic combination for Tectone. It is the consistent lying and content of character of the parties involved which should lead people to look at the story again with all the events and timeline in front of you to consider. That being said, cheers everyone, and thanks for watching. Hey guys, please hit like on the video as it helps the channel and the algorithm. If you want to support more content like this, you can do so at patreon.com/ShaMoo411. If you have Cash App, you can donate at $ShaMoo411. Also, channel memberships and super chats are enabled. Thank you.
If you can't give us some financial support, okay, please give us a credit and we will give you back money after the war.
A good clip. Yeah, that was ShaMoo on YouTube, ShaMoo for mobile users. Please go give it a like, sub, comment, etc. Please go for it. Do that, please. And to finish up this segment, I did want to show this, which I meant to show you guys ages ago, and I just never got a chance to, and then there was never a good opportunity to segue into it, where I think finally now this is a good segue. In the content realm. That's my reason for wanting to do that. And I've done this for countless other people. There have been so many people over the past.
You want to know why Denims think I did that shit? Because one person who wanted to marry me and has literally gone on record saying I was the best thing to ever happen to her, in her own words, multiple times. It says I was the best boyfriend she ever had. Once we broke up, got upset, and made up a whole bunch of fucking lies. Never once did Denims ask me, so what happened? Never once did Denims ask me, can you show me any proof? Is there any way you can help me here? Which I can very clearly explain. Every single person I've had a conversation with, it's very, very, very simple to disprove. Unfortunately, Denim should know, with the delicacy of this nature, I can't just go spitting it out on fucking stream. It sucks. But when you are this fucking ignorant to say this shit, bro, you aren't listening to women's stories, you are weaponizing them. And I think there's a huge issue.
I like how me highlighting somebody else's story, who, by the way, I am friends with this person, is weaponizing it. Helping them get their story out there in a way that is acceptable to them is weaponizing it.
Where if one woman, or fuck, even one man says, this person did something bad, and you don't look into it at all. You don't check all your sources. You don't get both sides at all. And the first thing you do is say, well, this woman said it, so it's true. Well, this guy said it, so it's true. I'm sorry, guys. Being upset does not make it the truth. Denims, you are the most dangerous thing to happen to the internet in a very long time with how willfully ignorant you are. I'm sorry, Denims, you are retarded. And everyone who hears your voice has their IQ lowered due to you. Hearing the stupid shit you say has made everyone else around you even dumber. And may God have mercy on your soul.
3-4 years of streaming. Dude, I'm becoming so powerful. I'm kind of gaining Anissa status a little bit. I'm like becoming a force to be reckoned with. I see sometimes people will call me a witch. They'll be like, that witch Denims. And I'm like, do you really think so? Like, oh my God, wow. My power grows. Can we get this rant on the back of the Vile t-shirt? Yeah. Sorry, to respond really quickly. Hey, listen, man. Listen, Tectone. Actually, first I want to address...
It's driving me crazy.
And it's driving me crazy. Sale Kathy with the 10 gift subs. Let me just clarify to everybody here in chat. Any story that has any credibility, I will cover it on stream. There have been stories that I've seen on Twitter and online that I feel like there wasn't enough credibility to the story and I didn't cover it. A great example of this is the person who people thought was accusing Emiru of sexual misconduct. I don't know if anyone saw this sort of in the Twitter feeds, in the Reddit. There was someone who went on their stream. I don't remember the name of this person, but they went on their stream and they were like, yeah, it's crazy how like people can be so manipulative or something like that. And you know, like I was like low-key groomed by her. And everyone started extrapolating. Well, one specific person started extrapolating that this was about Emiru because Emiru and that person used to be friends or are still friends. And I saw that and I was like, this is not enough. This is not enough. This random clip where this person doesn't even name drop Emiru and doesn't actually talk about anything in any detail at all. This is not enough to like get on stream and try and highlight a story like this because I don't like, what the fuck? Guess what? A couple days later, that same person that got clipped tweets out, I was not fucking talking about Emiru. What the fuck? Who the fuck is clipping me? Like, why the fuck did you say that? Like, this was not about Emiru. Jesus Christ. purely speculation and people wanted it to be Emeru so bad it was gross. Yeah. And again, like I saw that and I was like, wait, so all that we have going right now is one random clip where this person even doesn't even list Emeru by name, doesn't specify any of the details of this. I don't feel like I should report on this because this feels kind of irresponsible to talk about. This feels really irresponsible to talk about. Because guess what? Again, it got exposed later that that wasn't the case. With the story that was related to Pink and related to Tectone, not only did I do my due diligence and speak to the victim in this case and try and actually get evidence and proof that can't be uploaded online, but I also did my best to report on it fairly. And Tectone, as he said, had the opportunity to publish more proof whenever he wanted, and he chose not to do that. So listen, Tectone, if you want to send whatever proof you think you have that exonerates you, my DMs are still open, okay? You sent messages to me ages ago. I haven't leaked them. I understand things are private. You can send more messages. I won't leak them. I'm not going to respond. But if you feel like there's stuff that you don't think people are reporting on but can't be public, please send them to me. I'm a discretionary person. I can be trusted with discretion or to be discretionary. So you're more than welcome to send it, man. I'm more than happy to be convinced if you have something that isn't just, I'm innocent. Because the last piece of evidence that you provided was that all of the stuff relating to her paying rent, and you were just wrong. And then there's one other thing. One sec. Okay, can I show you all this? I saw this just very recently. Tectone exposes old chat messages and stream raids from Denims. You only did that once the hate train started. You were a fan. Soul-sucking leech willing to do anything to get clout. Let me show you guys. Tensions matter. I didn't do that because I wanted to go over Tectone.
Fucking cap. Because you only did that once the hate train started. Because before that, Denims, you raided me. Multiple times. Multiple times. If I was smart enough to pull up that information, I would. But I'm stupid. You've raided me.
This is not true. I did not. People who've been here for ages know that this is not true.
Multiple times. You've been in my chat multiple times. Because I had no idea who the fuck you were. I had to Google you. That's why I used to follow you, because you used to raid me. But the moment you saw...
That's not true. That's not true.
An opportunity to turn against me, you were willing to do anything. And the fact that you would go in on a situation that you are so ill-informed of, when you have I'm still open to a conversation. I am still open to a conversation. Not on stream. Absolutely not. I ain't gonna talk to your ass on stream. You shady as fuck. But if you want...
I like the idea that what I would be shady on stream, but in private I wouldn't. I guess thank you for the vote of confidence. I don't understand. Chat, what's the website that you can look up people's like chat logs?
Literally have never seen Denims raid Tectone. Check my sublink, fellow.
44 months, yeah. Denims never raids. She literally just ends her stream and runs. Is this? Thank you, chat. Thank you. All right, let's keep going.
You want to talk off stream? Absolutely. Why wouldn't I? But you went on that shit vehemently with the most bad faith arguments of all time, and you have completely neglected and never addressed every single loophole in this.
There, you haven't provided any loopholes. What? I'm trying to see. Okay.
Situation, because you know it's bullshit, but you're so afraid of being seen wrong because you're up right now, and you know the moment the truth comes out, you're fucked. And you know what the worst thing is, Denims? When the truth does come out, you're still gonna try to doubt it. You're still gonna try to doubt it. Her messages in chat. Yep. There it is. Yep.
Chat, can someone pull up the logs? I genuinely don't know if these are my logs or not in his chat. I couldn't tell you. Because I haven't rated anyone in like literally years. Like actually years. So I have no way of knowing if these are, I don't remember things that are this far back when it comes to who I rated 2 years, 3 years ago. But also, like, what's the accusation here that, like, I change my opinion about people based on whether or not they think that they're pieces of shit? What's the position here? Oh, wait, I remember this. Oh my God, wait. I actually remember this. This was in the era where he was defending Morgpie for doing the black bar censorship meta. Oh my God, I totally forgot about this. That's really funny that, that the only reason I liked him was because he was being nice to Morgpie. He was defending Morgpie. He did. I remember this. Oh my God, the amazing era of like Tectone before he became insane. But he was this is for anyone who forgot about this stuff. Morgpie had this like incredible meta where I simp for women really hard, guys. Morgpie had this incredible meta where she was putting a black censor bar over her boobs. And she was wearing clothes, but she was pretending like she wasn't, right? So it was like this giant black bar. And people were getting really pissed about it. People were getting really, really mad about it. I don't even know if I can show it on stream technically since it is violative material. But then Tectone went on to defend her. And I was like, oh my God, dude, wait, that's actually so dope. Like, hell yeah, standing up for sex workers. Hell yeah, standing up for people that are doing funny shit on Twitter and or on Twitch. And people, the moral outrage on that shit was like insane. Like, oh my God, people might think she's naked under there. I thought it was so stupid. I thought the entire thing was stupid. And so he got on stream and he put a black bar over his dick and he pretended to jerk off as a way to like pull some of the heat away from Morgpie towards him. And I was like, damn, that's dope. Like, that's actually super dope. Standing up for women who are getting crazy harassment. That's dope. I have respect for that. I actually have mad respect for that. And then I found out that he was actually a piece of shit and he abuses the women that he's around. And I was like, oh, wait, you actually are not a friend to women. You're actually a massive piece of shit to women. And I don't like you anymore. Nothing has changed. Nothing fundamentally has changed. I like people who are good people, who support women, who help women out, who try their best to make the place better for especially female creators on this platform. And then when I find out that you are not that person and you're pretending to be that person, I don't like you anymore. This would be like pointing at the fact that like Hassan was on Steak and Eggs and being like, you were a fan. And it's like, no, we thought you were a different person because you presented yourself to be a different person. And now you're going full Asmongold and you're simping for him. Like, that's not, nothing has fundamentally changed with our positions. We still have the same values that we have. You're the one that's changed your positions, which is why we've stopped siding. Like, it doesn't, like, huh? I can't believe Denim changed her opinion based on new context. Holy fuck, what a witch. What an evil witch. It's like, what a like, also, this is such a bizarre accusation to make against me because it's like, what? I rated you during the black bar meta and was like, dude, you're supporting women, helping take some of the heat away from them. That's really cool behavior. And then I type in your chat once years ago. Which means what? I have to defend you forever? So when you're outed as being a terrible person, I have to keep defending you? Hell no. What the hell? What a bizarre statement. That's so crazy. That's actually like, this is surreal. I like didn't remember this happening at all. That's how insane it is. Whoa. Oh, man.
To get on the hate train, you took it immediately because you have no soul. You are a soul-sucking leech willing to do anything to get more clout, and it's pathetic.
I like the clout goblin telling me that I'm too much of a clout goblin by what? Rating you once years ago and then deciding I don't like you as a person and helping elevate a woman's story against you? Like, what? That makes me a soul-sucking leech. Oh.
Thank you, mods, for doing that shit because you know I'm too fucking stupid to do that shit myself.
Oh. Here are my chat messages. Here. This is well, let's check the dates. Wait, let's do a little bit. Let's see if I'm right. Wait. Let's do some investigative research. Also, I have to go. I have an appointment. I have a doctor's appointment, but really quickly, Black Bar Meta Twitch. We're gonna get to the bottom of the story. Hold up. How do I see like this just says like posted 1 year ago. How do I see the date specifically of these? When did these happen? Because this is like,
what?
Ah. It says to the left of messages. Yeah, I see these ones. Okay, I'm seeing that like this was happening. The Black Bar meta was happening in December. So I think this is when he got banned. I don't know if he was participating before then. All I know is that I ended up, I'm pretty sure, I'm like 99% sure that this was because of the Morgue Pie stuff. And man, the world has changed so fundamentally. I'm trying to find like the original where Morgue Pie started this behavior. This amazing behavior. But all I'm finding is the ones of like him saying that he got banned. Maybe if I pull up Morgue Pie. No, this is pulling up. What did Morgue Pie do? Well, she was the person who started the censor bar meta. Okay, I can't find it off the top of my head. Morgue Pie got banned 11/23, 12/20, and 12/11 of 2023. Okay, so this seems like it lines up. She was banned in October. She was banned in October banned in November, banned again in November, banned again in December. Wow, she's been banned and unbanned a lot. Holy shit. So yeah, this was about the same time. And I'm pretty sure I only found out about him because I knew about Mork Pie and I like Mork Pie. And so I'm pretty sure I raided into him when a lot of this stuff was like reaching a climax. And then I never typed there again. I raided and then I typed there and then I never typed there again. Big fan, by the way. Super fan confirmed. Super fan. This is what it looks like to be a super fan. Mm-hmm. This is what it looks like. But I guess he didn't want to share the date of the logs because the date of the logs makes him look bad. Also, like, if I was clout driven, wouldn't I have just like reached out to him and tried to collab or something? Wouldn't that make more sense? If I was like super clout driven, wouldn't I have like reached out to him and be like, we should collab, we should do this, we should do that? Like I raided once and then was like, here you go. Anyways, LOL, I can't play MMOs anymore, and then leave and then forget about it. Oh my God. Listen, Tectone, I already said it. Okay. Clip me on this. You have something you want to show me? I won't share it online. You can fucking put me under an NDA. I don't care. I'm not going to share shit online. Just like I haven't shared any of the messages that you've sent me already. I haven't responded to. There's a reason I haven't shared them online. It's because you should have discretion about messages that you're sharing online. Okay? So if you want, if you feel like there's something that you think is important to send, no, nothing of a lewd nature, chat. Nothing of a lewd nature. No. Please. Nothing like that. Nothing like that. Nothing like that. Oh no, if it was of a lewd nature, I would publish that shit immediately. Not the actual images, but as like this is inappropriate behavior. No. They were polite messages that were sent to me. They were polite messages. I don't want any weird speculation or anything like that. So I'm not going to share anything. I get it. You have a court case. Maybe there's stuff that shouldn't be online. I understand. I get it. You are more than welcome to send a message. Okay? But I did my due diligence on my part, and I couldn't find anything that I thought exonerated you. So, please, you're more than welcome to organize something. I'm happy to do it. I'm very happy to do it, please. So, with that, everybody, what an amazing clip. Super fan Denims. This is how you know I'm trying to get clouded. I raid people and then type in their chat because I think raiding without typing is mean. This is also, by the way, the reason I stopped raiding people. I haven't raided people. I think the only person I've raided in like ages is like Sean. And before, like Sean, Mike, Hassan, I think are the only people I've raided in the past year or two. Because people are weird. People get weird. So I just like don't even like in participating in it. But thank you everybody for tuning into the stream. That's it. That's everything that I wanted to share with all of you. I hope you guys have a great rest of your stream. Sorry. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Stay hydrated. Tell your homies you love them. Give them a little, smoochy. So yeah, have a great rest of your day. See you all, and I will see all of you guys